Welcome back to another episode of Fact or Freestyle,
where we uncover facts from BMX.
And now we're going to find out what's going on.
Let's see how far down this rabbit hole we go.
Another town and one more show. Downtown, you're giving away. away, but you never came back. No phone to take your place, you know what I mean. We have the same dreams, but it
Eddie, what's up? So happy that you could be here.
Oh my God. Is Mark still DJing?
I can't believe Eddie came in here. I can't believe he agreed to come in here again.
I didn't agree.
Must be some kind of like
He must be
blackmail
stuck in the house.
situation.
It must be a snowstorm or something.
Eddie's business partners are investing as sponsors in the show, and to make sure that their investment works, they are installing Eddie on the board of directors.
That's perfect. There you go.
To ensure that we only talk about BMX and
Yes.
not
Thank God.
ridiculous life coaching.
Oh, I hope this works
And
out.
we're off. All right, so let's do
we
it.
started
Let's
off
get
with
into
Mark
it.
Eaton DJing.
Do
And now I know how
we
Bob
need we got
Morales
the
felt.
intro in, right?
We got the intro in. This
Yeah.
is so dialed.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for having me in here.
Bob Morales.
Thank you.
I know how Bob Morales felt when I showed up at a contest and would enter. You know, after seeing Mark just come in here and DJ for 5 minutes.
All right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It was like, why is this guy here? He's ruining the flow.
Yeah, that's right. There was no flow going on. No flow.
There was no flow. There wasn't a flow.
There's more
There was
flow
a-
than a Mel's reunion or the what's with Alice reunion. There was no flow.
Oh my God.
I would
So
love-
wait,
I would
Dave,
love that.
did Dave quit again?
Yeah, he just pieced out.
Dave quit. He saw Eddie and quit. Thank
I don't
God
know.
we got
I
a
was
real-
looking down at
Look,
my phone.
At least now we got a real pro on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's how
I
we're
mean,
doing it.
you know, I'm just
Eddie,
I mean,
we're trying to get Gene Roden on the show because Ray just told a story that he's the one who invented freestyle shows.
Oh, really?
You didn't
But
know
You
this?
got to tell them the story.
All right, Ray, you better do it.
so Gene Roden told us that he has a long history or background in bullfighting rodeo
In
rodeos.
bull caging, I think they
bull
call it.
caging in rodeos. So in rodeos they have rodeo clowns that help the rodeo dudes, the cowboys or whatever. I'll call them riders. I guess they're called riders.
They are.
And then they'd also bull riders.
Riders.
And then they would entertain the people when the bull riding wasn't going on. So that guy came up with the idea that, hey, when we have these BMX races, let's get those dudes with the Leif Garrett haircuts that ride those pipe jumps, and we'll bring them out here and we'll have them do their bicycle tricks while we're doing stuff in between races. So he invented the freestyle show, where Dave Norrie made $100 a month driving around the Haro guys.
All right, guys. I'm gonna peace out. Thank you guys for
All
having
right.
me.
What? You're gonna leave this?
Yeah, well, I got stuff to
Eddie
do. We got.
You can
and
watch it
Dave
tomorrow.
Norrie on, and you're leaving. You're leaving.
I can't just stand here. I got things to do, but I'll have
He's
it
gonna
on.
go- He's gonna go watch Malibu's Most Wanted for the 5th time today. He's got nothing to do.
Hey, Eddie.
All right, we'll see.
I'm going to be in San Diego beginning of December. I'm delivering a keynote at a tech conference at the Marina Hotel. Are
Okay.
you around there?
You can
where do you
get
live?
Mark the DJ.
I'm not.
Don't tell him where you live.
Huh?
I'm out in Temecula area.
I have no idea. I don't know my geography.
All right. So where are you gonna be at?
The marina in the San Diego Marina,
Oh,
like
okay.
Hyatt or something, convention
Yeah,
center.
we're on a weekday.
Showtime is on Tuesday. I have stage rehearsal Sunday, so I have to get out there Saturday.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're close. We're right near Miramar. Right where Top Gun was filmed.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know, and
Yeah, we're
maybe I'll
close.
swing by and cause some trouble and
Yeah, come
go
by and
over
see.
to Bob Harrow.
See if he has a sticker collection in his house. You could probably steal.
Ooh.
You know, I'm sure he's got a sticker collection.
Ooh.
Let's see if you can see it. It's that
Yeah, I
box.
told you.
I would
That
love
box,
to put
that
I would
box.
love to put my hands on the Bob Harrow cease and desist letter. Like that would be my spiritual
Yeah.
journey.
I would have to find that one. I know where it's at.
I cannot believe that you don't know exactly where that is, but we've already covered
we
this.
make
I'm overly
Joe, we could make a
fascinated.
shirt of that letter. We could make an actual shirt of that and
Oh,
just wear it
yes.
around.
Yes. That
That'd
can be
fun.
part of the Eddie Fiola swag that you make. All right, so Hall of Fame.
We were
Wow.
all there except Dave.
We were all there except for
Didn't
Dave,
make it.
who
He-
was
he missed
at a
out.
paid gig.
That's not entirely true. But I
Expenses
Not a lot of the
paid
stuff you
gig.
say is, but we'll go with it.
I went to a contest. There was a contest happening.
Tell us about the contest.
It was awesome. There was 19 riders in pro class, and the beginner class was the biggest I've ever seen in the recent years of AFA.
There's
So
a
that was
beginner class.
Yeah, there was, and it wasn't just a few kids like that were not really into riding, just the kids of the parents or whatever. They're actually riders. So I think there was 10 or 11 beginners. So that was awesome.
There's a dude named Omari Cato in Houston, and he is a teacher, but he's also a really great rider. And he started a school, and he brought his students to the event.
Oh wow, very cool.
Yeah, he had three
extremely
riders
cool.
there.
Mhm. They got like a GoFundMe for him and stuff. It was so awesome. All right, so Eddie, what was your highlight from Hall of Fame weekend?
Oh, the highlight from the Hall of Fame, being able to go onto the track and see and actually feel what these guys are racing on, and not dirt anymore. It's not like it used to be. It's sandpaper. It's 200 grit sandpaper. So when you go down, it's gonna hurt. And these people are going fast. I don't know if you saw that Barry Noble's crash.
No.
He was in the pack, and he's mid pack, and he's going as fast as he can, and he's doing like a speed wheelie, and he drops it right before the next jump.
Yeah, I saw that.
Implodes into the face of the whoop section of the jump, and it just I can't even imagine how 1 second you're riding and the next second you're in the hospital. It was fast. It was like it's one of those butt pucker ones where that hurt, for sure. But anyhow, that's and seeing all the all the pros there. I didn't think that many people would have shown up to Oklahoma for this, only because we've always been in California. It's always been in Chula Vista, and it being out in Oklahoma, I thought a couple of the pros would show up, a couple people here and there. I was very amused, blown away on how many people showed up, and already buying my next year's ticket. So
Wow. So how did this compare to, years in the past? I mean, I understand that it's like big, but how would you describe the difference?
One, when here in California, everyone they show up, they hang out, and then they go home. Where in Oklahoma, a lot of people are flying in. They all got the hotel, and usually everybody stayed at the same hotel, and the whole ceremonies were at that hotel. So it just made it easy, not having to worry about taking the extra drive home or getting up the next day, and we just had a lot more fun. I think it worked out really well.
It's like a pilgrimage, like when you have to drive out to the York Jam. It's not like your local. It's not like your local jam where you can just show up and then you got to go, get home before the kids, need you and stuff like that.
Yeah. But and then since we flew out and we had a couple days there, we also stopped off at the Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
So I didn't,
Oh yeah, you did a thing out there. How was that?
Yeah, so we hung out, we sold some products, some shirts, some hats, some stuff like that. They had a little contest going on with some riders, some local riders. We gave out a couple trophies. They handed out some swag, and I was really surprised on the Quickie Mart, they carried bikes, they carried skateboards, they carried clothes, they carried Vans shoes, these guys carries everything. Not only do they carry that, but it's also a dispensary. So
that's right.
There's a dispensary on every corner.
Yeah.
We noticed that. It was crazy.
Ray said that. I didn't see it.
Gary pointed it out. Gary's like, look, there's a dispensary. Hey, look, there's another one. And we're at an intersection. And at the intersection, out of the 4 corners, 3 places had dispensaries.
Yeah, like here, be a start. Now it's a dispensary. Yeah.
Conan did this bit where he found the edge of the universe, and it was 2 Starbucks like next to one another across the street or something, where the universe folded back together. All right, so Eddie, on a scale of 1 to 10, how great was the Naked Gumby t-shirt?
Oh,
and
it was 8.5, almost 9. I mean, like I can't give it a perfect 10. Only
right.
Nadia each got that. So an 8.5. Let's say an 8.5. It was really good. Real eye catching. The third eye catching.
Probably would have been a 10. It probably would have been a 10 if his manhood wasn't censored out.
I think they're going to make Montana Ricky do that. Did you guys hear what happened to Montana Ricky? So
Tell us.
Montana Ricky is a sales rep for, I forget like who, but a big distributor. And so he knows all the behind the scenes stuff with like sponsors and stuff like that. Well, he has a podcast, first episode of a podcast. Ricky has, the sickness, and he's coughing, and then his friend is on the couch next to him, and his friend works for Gary Vaynerchuk. And Ricky just starts dishing, like hard dishing. And the episode is no longer available. But everyone is so pissed at him. They're trying to cancel him. And I think Ricky got jealous of Kanye, and Ricky like unloaded. And now, like, no one wants to work with Ricky. And so I'm thinking to myself, what could Ricky do to get back in Chris Muller's good graces? And I'm proposing that Montana Ricky do the actual Naked Gumby as his penance for shitting on all of the guys who made BMX.
I think the only way that that's legitimate is you have to get Ron and Brian to ask Ricky to do it. Because that's where the original Dare started. It started in Germany. Started on live TV.
It's like I have set this up for you for so long, Dave, and now you haven't done it and you continue to refuse it. So I have to take this amazing idea and run it with someone else.
Joe, I don't mean to break the bad news to you, but I'm never going to do a naked compy. I didn't do it back in the 80s, and I'm not going to do it now. So I think you need to find a replacement.
But Ron should do, and Ron and Brian should do an air over 540.
That's up to them. If they can do an air over 540, great. I think the last time they did was 09. I'm not asking. I didn't dare them to do an air over 540.
Actually, you make a pretty good case, which is that it should all be consensual.
Jeff Cotter.
I know Jeff Cotter. I haven't seen him in like 40
Pop-Tart.
years.
Let's see if we can.
Pop-Tart, Jeff Cotter.
Jeff, what's going on?
Hey, what's up to, man?
Nah, I'm just hanging out.
Don't say nothing.
Gotcha. Send Jeff the Zoom thing. I want to say hi to him. I remember Jeff knows me from back in the day. I used to watch him brush his hair at the contest.
They're going to
Knows what I'm talking about.
Like in the next month or so. I guess he said it takes like a month or so to get the doctors or like the hospitals together and stuff like that. So, but it's basically like the patella, and they're gonna like put 2 holes below it, 2 holes behind it, or on the top, and then they kind of cut an incision just underneath on the inside of my left knee, and then tie it back to my bone. So so that he said it's like a 4-month recovery. I'm like, holy shit, man, that's gonna suck.
I just had
4
that done.
months.
Is he going to have anesthetic? Because if he's going with anesthetic, we don't need to talk to him.
He might go way quicker, you know what I mean? Like, and he goes, you've been dealing with it for a while, obviously, so you can definitely endure pain. He goes, I don't want to give you pain medication until afterwards. I said, I'm not asking for it. I don't want it. I said, I can take what I got now, but I mean, it hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hurts like actually really bad, but I don't need, whatever the other stuff would be, medical wise.
So you're gonna get it fixed.
What's that?
You're gonna get it fixed.
Yes.
All right. So we should go to the pump track like tomorrow, so that because you're gonna get it worked on.
You're gonna get it fixed.
Last one in a long time.
Joe, can we send Jeff the link and get him on the Zoom call?
I think Eddie's doing it. I think Eddie just did it.
All right.
Did he
Eddie,
do it?
did you send him the link?
Base on it went off the last time. So I mean, it's pretty bad. So
Hey, do you got a computer with you?
Or
Or an
iPhone?
iPhone.
Do you have an iPhone? He's got an iPhone.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Do you have an iPhone?
He's calling him from a rotary phone.
Just 2
I
seconds.
have
Yeah, just like 1 second. I got an Android.
Oh, you
Is
have an
Jeff
Android?
from
As long as they have the Zoom app, as long as he has the Zoom app, he's
Does
fine.
he have the Zoom app? Yeah.
Do you have the Zoom app?
I had it on my other computer, but I got a new one, so I don't know if I have it on this one. No, I don't think I have it on the new.
Yeah.
Does anybody near you have the Zoom app?
That's something I didn't really think about.
If you go to Starbucks, can you find a barista that has Zoom on her iPhone? That'll work too.
Yeah. I'm on a Zoom meeting right now.
And we want you to join, Jeff.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to get you to. I'm gonna send you a link.
Okay.
If I can.
Todd's pompadour's looking good.
Maybe.
Todd has the best hair in BMX.
He does.
Yeah.
Look at that
He
pompadour.
has-
It's bigger since we
I
talked
think he
about
goes
it.
to stylist every week.
I apologize for being
There's no
late.
apologies on the show.
I was. Oh, I just finished riding with some dudes, including Bill Nitschke, actually.
I know him.
And I'm just now, so I apologize. Ray, the hair's for you as always.
It looks great. It looks great.
Where were you
Thank
guys
you.
riding?
It is it's an industrial building that one of the riders, he works for the company, so he has access to it, and it's heated and pretty decent floor actually. Little wavy, but enough space. It's warm, so I'm stoked on it.
Hey Ray,
How often
this
did you
is,
go there?
Cincinnati, down in Butler. Today's the first time that I've been there. So, but it's good. It's yeah, probably 8 riders there, maybe
Did you get that, Jeff?
8 or 9.
I think I just got it right now to join.
Yeah.
How far of a drive was it, Todd?
All right. If you can get on, I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, bye.
For me, it's about 40 miles, so it took a little over an hour for me to get there. But it's nice to be able to ride with space. That's the thing that I don't have the luxury of. So it's nice to, feel how things are, not just riding around in tight circles all the time.
Yeah, you do a lot of that, Todd. You're doing
So,
pretty good with it,
yeah.
though, I must say. You've
Thank
learned
you,
to
thank you.
adapt.
But yeah, yes. But it's nice to not have to. It's nice to
Yeah.
ride in a large space for sure.
You can actually do a straight hang 5, right?
Exactly. Really intensely carve, everything, and then be real intentional about how much you lean to one side or the other because of that. So.
Yeah.
So again, sorry, totally interrupted everything. I apologies.
There's no apologies on the show. Come on, you know.
No
Yeah, you
apologies
apologize
on the show.
twice, so you have to get off. You apologize
Not
2
allowed.
times, that's the rule. You have to bow.
That's
three.
twice.
That's
No, he can stay on. He's allowed to stay on.
Dave
but
is
he's gotta-
Dave is trying to invent some kickoff rules
Yeah.
because he invited an AI construct named VJ Singh, which isn't real because VJ Singh
He
is
would
a
have been
golfer.
amazing. I wish you guys
He would
would've
not be
disapproved him.
amazing. He's trying to get in to get like connected to the whole audience, and he's an AI construct who is going to steal our fans' money. I looked into him. He is fake. You have been fooled.
Joe, do you have any idea how he came to know who that guy is?
No, I don't. And
Okay, let me tell you, because you said to me, do you have any guests? And I'm like, I searched on Instagram, I put investors, and I took a snapshot, and I said, I've got this guy booked. And you just went off on a whole.
and for like
tangent,
3
as you
days,
do.
I was. So Dave is
I had-
now baiting
I've
me.
never had any conversations with the guy. All I said to you was like, he had a BMX. So, because I think Ray said they have to be riders in order to
I
be on
had
the
so
show.
much. I thought I was hoping that was what you were going to tell me because I did not want to fear
You
the opposite.
gotta know
which
me
is,
better than that by now, right? I mean, come on,
Well,
Joe.
I had fear. I let fear get
Ray-
the best of me,
Jeff
but it was
Connor?
still
I really
funny.
booked this
is
one.
that the real
Jeff
Jeff
Carr? That is not really Jeff. Who
What's up,
changed
guys?
that guy's screen name?
That's
That's
Jeff.
some dude.
Hey,
Jeff,
how
do you
are
remember
you?
me, Ray,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day?
Took me a sec, yeah, but I'm here. How you guys
Oh,
doing?
Jeff.
What's
good
up,
to see
Dave?
you,
What's
man.
up? Oh, how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing
Hey,
well.
what's up?
Doing well.
The last
Yeah,
time
I was
saw
just calling
Jeff,
Eddie, and then he told me you guys were on this call, so he showed me how to join, and just want to say hi and say what's going on.
Jeff, I think the last time I saw you was the Arizona contest, Tucson, Arizona. Do you
Oh,
remember
wow.
that contest?
That's a while
You-
back.
You and I were hanging out in the stands with Carl Roth and
Oh,
Craig
yeah.
Grasso for about 3 hours.
Oh man, gosh, like
And
that takes me back quite a bit, in
and
a
you were
good way,
constantly-
obviously. Those are fun times.
you
It's
were
good to remember all that stuff
You were constantly brushing that large mane of hair you had before your run.
that I don't have now.
Well, I'll tell you this: you may have had the best hair in BMX back in. I mean, Eddie had good hair too, but you may have been in second place.
Yeah.
I was thinking about growing it back
URL
out, and I actually just I was kind of shaving it for a while just by myself. I know it sounds kind of stupid, but it was just, you don't have to go to the barber. You just shave your own head. And I started growing it back out, and it just got annoying. And I went to the barber and cut it all back off. So it's just easier.
Oh, that chick's hot, Eddie. Who's that? Is that your daughter?
No, my dog way prettier.
Way prettier than that.
Yeah.
Jeff, I learned Pop-Tarts because of you.
Oh my gosh.
Respect.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm going to go into knee surgery, and I don't think I can jump up to the bars right at the moment, but I hope to get back to be able to do it. So
Yeah, good. They have this
Every-
new kind with springs in it. So have him, if he puts the
Yeah.
springs in it, make sure he does
Extra
it on
spring.
both knees. Otherwise, you're going to be jumping to the side.
it's just going to my left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I never
Exactly.
understood how the bionic man, the $6 million man, like how could he run fast in a straight line? He only had one bionic leg. That makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And you know what? I mean, Eddie's got his hip done, and then Derek O'Ree, if you guys remember him, he's getting his hip done pretty soon here, December 14th. And I'm getting my knee done, and then they did an MRI on my elbow. And I can send you guys a picture later, but I mean, you can see all the fragments that were wired in that now have broken. And
Really?
so it's like I've got wires in my elbow that are broken. And they said there's a specialist at Cedars-Sinai that could probably take it out, but they'd have to drill into my bone. And I'm like, well, and the surgeon I met with for my knee, he's like, I won't even do it. He goes, I'd recommend not doing it. And, but you can go talk to the specialist and see what he wants to do. And, you know, but he goes, honestly, I would say if you could live with it, just live with it, you know? So I'll probably live with my elbow and just take care of my knees. You know what I mean? So I could still make sure I'm walking, you know what I mean? And be able to ride again.
Wow. And when
Yeah,
did you have your
not to
elbow
take
done?
it
How
down,
long
but I
ago
mean, I see Dave doing tricks like down in San Diego, like a couple months back with Peterson and stuff. And it was just like amazing. And I was like sitting there with a knee brace on. I couldn't do anything. I'm like, damn it, you know, but
Yeah, I want to get that fixed. You got to
yeah,
get
I just respect the fact that you guys are all still riding, you know, that's awesome.
Well, Dave got his knee fixed once years ago in Mexico, where the guy just rubbed some like chicken oil on it and something. Remember that? And then
He
it
had
got
Dave had psychic
after
surgery.
I had
Yeah,
psychic
psychic
surgery. I did.
surgery. Yeah.
It's actually
So there
true.
you
Why don't you
go.
do that? Why doesn't one of us get psychic? Oh, hey, I'm going to be in San Diego. Maybe I'll
There
get
you go.
psychic surgery.
Yeah. Just,
What do you-
just ask
what do you
my
need
mom to
fixed?
take you down to TJ and you'll get the psychic surgery.
I'll find something.
Your mental state you could get fixed maybe.
I'm gonna
Well,
have
that's questionable.
psychic brain surgery. I think I'm gonna have
Yeah.
him start on like a toe. I think.
So what are you doing these days, Todd? I mean, Jeff, are you riding quite a bit? Like when your knee was better? Or?
Well, what I've been doing is I was trying to like kind of rebuild it, just kind of riding. I've got like a road bike with like a flat bar. And I've been trying to just like rehabilitate, get it going. And just what I found out was, I know this sounds like really weird, but the doctor said, or the surgeon, the guy that I finally met with that's going to do the surgery, he had said that he thinks, he can't say 100%, but he thinks that I was born with no tendons on the inside of my kneecaps on both legs.
What?
Yeah, I know that sounds completely ridiculous, right? But he
I've
said
heard
he
more
goes, he can't see
ridiculous.
even evidence of that there was ever any like tendons or whatever, like to tie in the kneecap to the bone and everything. So
Wow.
I've had my knee blown out, my left knee probably 7 times over the years. And
When was
that's
that?
my surfer knee, which obviously sucks because that was one of my best tricks. But
The can surfer.
What did
Yeah,
you do?
surfer,
and
that's
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point where I mean, the last couple of years, I mean, it hurt so bad and it blew out a few times. I mean, I know this sounds beyond cheesy, but I mean, literally, I was pulling the blinds on the window in my bedroom, and my kneecap popped out and went all the way behind my leg.
Oh,
So that was where I'm like, okay, I need surgery now. I need to get this handled somehow. So
dude.
That is
yeah,
a
so
butt
tough stuff,
fucker of
but
a
you know,
story.
gonna have to do it. You know
Pull
what I
the
mean? So I
blinds.
just want to be able to walk when I'm older, and I just really want to be able to ride again. I miss being able to really like ride, you know, and have fun.
And sometimes the sun comes in, you got to pull the blinds. I mean, you need to be able to do that.
You have to be able to do both. Hey, how did your
Let's
knee
get a-
get blowed out first?
Oh, say again, sorry.
How did your knee get blowed out first?
We grew up in Lakewood, California, and my aunt lived right around the corner from us, and her front lawn was on a 45-degree angle or whatever, like a big angle. And I was mowing her lawn, and my knee blew out when I was mowing. And that was the first time I was like maybe like 13, 14.
That was the
That almost
story.
counts as-
That's
was
what you're
doing-
gonna give. You're not
He
like
was doing a lawnmower.
doing a big
He
ass
was doing
jump or
a
anything.
lawnmower.
You were riding a half pipe with the lawnmower. Okay.
And
got
there,
it.
yeah, that's the better story, yeah. And I
Even-
remember
even
at
doing-
that Lakewood house, one of the best things was when Eddie came over. I think if I remember right, I mean, Ed, you know, call me crazy, but if I remember right, you did a 540 on the ramp in the backyard and then ran right into the freaking house.
It was either
And
the
it was like a
house or the
stucco
fence
wall, because it
or
was
the
like a really
wall.
kind of skinny driveway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I just don't
Yeah.
remember if it was the house or the wall that was on the other side. Both of them, either had stucco or a concrete wall. So
Yeah, it was like a crazy brick wall that was all like kind of wavy with like just, I mean, if you hit it, you're gonna get hurt, And we put a ramp right in the middle of both of those things. That's all we had at the time, though, Good times. Good
Yeah,
times.
and probably 8-foot wide ramp, if that, right?
8 foot tall, 8 foot wide.
Yeah.
Yep. And remember, we had the clear glass in the middle at the one point.
Clear
you guys-
glass
yeah,
in the
you did-
middle.
Yeah,
Did
we
it for
did I
cameras.
think it was Lexan, like the clear Lexan, like
Oh,
flexible
right.
stuff. And we did Lexan in the middle, and I think it was like purple on the two sides. So it was like maybe Lexan 4 feet in the middle, and then 2 feet and 2 feet of just wood. That was one of the quarter pipes we had back there too at the time. But that was like, a little bit way back when. But
That's
stuff,
they had. They had one of those at Woodward East. The year before I went. That's crazy.
The only thing that ramp was always like probably like just to vert. Like, I don't think it really had any vert on it. So you'd have to still maybe pull out just a bit, you know what I mean? But Dennis McCoy came over, Rick Molinterno, they hit it pretty hard, they were doing 8-9 foot airs on it, so they had a good time,
So sick.
Yeah, good times, man. Yeah, good times.
I watched Daniel Sandoval blast, and it's just like unbelievable. Do you guys watch him on Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
It's amazing.
Sometimes he'll just pop off like just an invert. His inverts are unbelievable, and they're just like sky high.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, Ray, hit us with
Joe.
your
Yes.
favorite
Well,
favorite
Joe, I
moment
think-
from Hall of Fame.
Oh,
Oh my God. Probably, it's funny. It was a very subtle moment, probably, but I think seeing Tommy Brackens, just because like
Yeah, I saw it.
somebody that we would see, like he was somebody like we saw in the magazines when we were kids. I didn't know much about like even like racing back then, but he was just like a name, like Tommy Brackens this, Tommy Brackens that. And so then we're just like standing there talking to this dude for a while, and then Warren's like, that's Tommy Brackens. And I'm like, Tommy Brackens? And because we had met him in the hotel, and I was like talking to him, didn't know it was Tommy Brackens. He didn't say like, hey, my name's Tommy, so that was pretty neat. Like seeing somebody you thought you would never see or never meet is kind of cool. But like just the whole thing in general was fun. And
how was Kevin's speech?
What
did Kevin have a great speech?
He did not prepare. He freestyled it.
That's what made Kevin's speech was exactly the way I thought it was going to be. Like my fists were all clenched while he was talking because I was so nervous for him. Because like I've known Kevin for a long time, and Kevin I think is real comfortable around me talking, just like, and he's a pretty he's a shy dude. Like Kevin doesn't come up and start a conversation with you. You know what I mean? You have to go up to Kevin and start talking. So I was like, how's Kevin going to get up in front of, I could talk all day and I would have a hard time going up there talking in front of everybody. and he did it. And I thought the best part is he was doing it and then talking, and then he would just start laughing. Do you remember that, Joe? Twice he started laughing because he was just like, what the fuck am I doing up here? I can't be up here, but his whole family was there. His entire family, his mom, dad, his aunt, and his kids and his in-laws were there. So that was great that they were there. But I just like going to things like that because you just meet so many people. You know what I mean? You meet tons and tons of people, and it's just so much fun. And then going to Max's house, going to Max was pretty awesome. TJ did what? What TJ do?
So for those of you who don't know,
play it. He mentioned Factor Free.
He did. TJ gave a shout out to the show, which I thought was pretty awesome. And Ray and Warren But also he flew in 30 hours from South Africa because he's doing the MTV thing. He flew 30 hours on a plane. He shows up with his whole MTV crew, and TJ is like dressed, dialed, crushes his, speech, tells
His
like a
speech was
crazy,
great.
insane story. It was like, dude. And then he gets on a plane and
Memories.
goes back. Yeah. He opens with, "Without you, there's no me."
Without you, there's no me. That was the best part.
Uh-huh.
And then he just talked. It was great.
It was
Well, I like that he
incredible.
started off the story. I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, and then his daughter's like significant other was there, and he goes,
That was
"And you, Matt,
hilarious.
without you, there's still me. No problem." No disrespect. I was like,
That was the
that was
funniest
the-
part.
fucking great. He didn't look like it didn't look like he had the sense of humor that maybe one would expect.
He did though. I asked TJ about that the next morning.
really?
He met up with us at breakfast, and I brought that up to him immediately, and he's like, "Oh no," he goes, "Like I thought there was something in between them or something
Yeah, so did
between
I.
them," and he said no. He goes, "He's just like a shy kid," and he was just like basically fucking with him, which is even funnier.
Oh, that's
So it's pretty awesome.
TJ's probably the nicest guy, one of the nicest guys that has ever walked the earth.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. He definitely has some good stories. He was telling us some stories about he was training and going to school to be like an EMT, and he had to and a firefighter, and he had to go work in a emergency room for like 6 days or 6 nights, whatever. And just like the nonsense that goes on in an emergency room in like downtown Las Vegas is something.
Wow.
So he had some good stories. Joe,
Jeff,
what
are
was
you
your
taking
favorite?
are you taking us on a tour, Jeff? Where are you at now? You're in
I
your
was just
garage?
going to show you guys really quick. This is this is Eddie's bike. that
Show us
I got a
everything.
little while back.
When
See if I
did
can
you
get it in
steal
there. Can
Eddie's
you guys see
bike
it?
from him?
How do you turn the
No,
phone
not
around?
so well. Back up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Oh,
I'll give you 500. I'll give you $500 cash for it today.
Check out the hubs. The stem. Front hub. Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all rose gold, and then I got I think one of the first chrome ones that they did, and then I got my custom bars.
Who made your
For
custom
surfers.
bars?
So got
With the
that,
tube.
and then this is the
Yeah.
project for a little kid around the corner. I'm doing his brakes for him, so it's halfway done. I got to do the bottom gyro cables, and that's my daily rider right here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
blue.
So, and then there's other stuff too. I mean, all around, but anyways, yeah, fun stuff. So just thought I'd show you guys.
That's awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Anyways,
so
back
my
to whatever you
favorite-
guys were talking about. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah.
if I did.
Oh no, you
No,
can
you
interrupt
did
all
it.
you want. We're good.
Yeah,
We're
you
good.
can interrupt. Ray's rule. The rules are you can't apologize, no apologizing, and you can
And always
interrupt at any
interrupt.
point. And
Always
always
interrupt.
interrupt.
Okay, cool.
Always
cool.
interrupt.
One of my favorite, well,
Wait,
one
what
of my
set you got there?
favorite moments at Hall of Fame was flicking pennies with Gary. And
Oh,
so
I missed that.
yeah, we went into, or I was like, oh, this is my chance. It's just me and Gary. And I started talking about penny flicking. And then I went into the fountain. He's like, are we really going to do it? I'm like, dude, how perfect is this? We got a penny and we just sat there and like flicked it against the wall. And Gary was like, you have to line up here. And then I was like, what about the, and we were just like there was like, there was a lamp, there was a painting, and we were so good. We were always 3 feet away from the painting. That's how dialed we were. And we're just flicking this penny against the wall. Now there's another guy who's like the car parking concierge type guy. He's just watching us, flicking, and he's fine with it. But then we get together and we're like, this doesn't feel like zinc and copper. there's something different about the pennies these days. Because when we were kids, they went from copper pennies to zinc and copper coated. These pennies did not flick like back in the day. And that's when I knew, I think that's when Gary and I knew that we were old.
You couldn't even flick a penny right.
No, we flicked it great, but it didn't
Because
feel
pennies
the
have
same.
changed.
You're kidding me. We're
Pennies
still
have
in our
changed.
prime. Pennies,
Yeah.
the pennies changed. We
Yeah.
did not change. We're like,
You can always
what is
you can always do nickels and dimes too. Where do you think Gary learned how to flick a penny?
I'm sure it was Large Ray.
Now that you
It
asked me
was-
that, it was probably you.
Yeah, it was me, and we'd go to the King of Prussia Mall. And we'd just start flicking them and hitting people. Gary
I told Angie the story about how you would put quarters on the grill at Burger King and just
no
all
in the
day long.
fryolator. In the fryolator,
In
we
the
put them in there all
fryolator?
day. We'd have stacks
It
of
was
quarters,
just-
and then we'd take them out. Oh, that'd be great.
You're
Wipe
just-
off the grease. You'd wipe off the grease and then roll it into where the people are eating, and like an old man would go, "Oh, look at that, Susan! There's a quarter on the ground." Then you pick it up, and you just hear.
Oh my God.
"Ah!" I mean, we must have done that 100 times.
That's
Easily
terrible.
100.
It's so funny.
Yeah, but when you're 16 and you're making $3.10 an hour, you gotta amuse yourself somehow. You know. We also, when things got boring, we'd replace all the hamburger patties with sausage patties, and nobody knew the difference. That was another one we did.
One thing
Things
we
would
did
get
in the
boring.
past. Oh, sorry to interrupt. One thing we did in the
No,
past
you
was we'd be barbecuing, and you would put something, or somebody would put something like on the grill, and as soon as they walked away, you would take it off and put a new one on, maybe 5 minutes later, and it just stayed raw the entire time. And they're like, "It's not cooking, it's not the fire. Like, what's going on?" Yeah, we just, you would mess with people so bad.
That's a
doing
great one.
that. Yeah,
That's really good. It's
Oh
not
my
cooking
God.
everything else.
Why is this thing not cooking? So, this one time, and Todd, you'll remember this because
Todd's
at
gone.
Texas Toast, and I want to say 2012, we were in the hotel room with, it was me, the Lapsley boys, the Canadians, and Shawnee, who I made like the most amazing Shawnee memes with, goes into the bathroom. He comes out and he's washing his hands. And it's going for like a while. And he goes, "Dude, the soap won't wash off, bro." And he had never like experienced soft water or hard water. And he was like, we explode laughing. And he's like, "Fuck you guys." And we're like, the Canadians are like they were losing it. And one of them was Tiffany Dunn, and she was Alex's girlfriend, very cute, very charming, and she started the laughing. Shawnee was not having it, having a room full of people busting his balls because he doesn't know about hard water. And he goes to walk out the room and he goes, and I take a picture of him, and he just goes, "I'm going next door." Now he eventually came back very high at 3 a.m, and we had a cot. And I remember this because he opened the door as hard as he expected to be able to walk in and hit the cot and rocked Trevor off, and then stepped in and walked over the cot that Trevor was sleeping in and said, "There's so many women next door, bro." And we go, "Shawnee, are you high?" And he goes, "Yes." And that was the funniest shit, because when we did like that fucking Shawnee meme was so funny. He looked so indignant, and we would, whenever somebody would do something that weekend, we would say, "Dude, the thing, comma, bro." And so when I did Guru Jam 2013, I released all of the information as Shawnee memes. And so the trickle campaign was, you watched Footprints in the Spam, and then you saw, "Dude, Am Flat finals at the Terradome, bro." And every couple days we would release like who was judging, the times, the dates, and Shawnee Meme is probably one of the greatest things in my life.
I have to also say, Ray, the reason that you haven't seen Shawnee Meme is because basically Joe got a cease and desist from Shawnee to not be able to use his image any longer for
man
purposes. So
I pissed him off, and
which has been Joe. Yeah.
We'll never see it, will we?
Shawnee's a great guy. No, he just didn't. He didn't want his. I mean, Joe probably made hundreds of.
I didn't take them down. I just had to stop. So they're there, Ray.
Okay,
I'll send them to you.
Okay.
But Joe probably has 8,000 posts, so you may have Joe send them to you, Ray, rather than you going through.
I'm gonna find it.
Joe,
it's from
Joe would never
2012.
post anything 7,000 times.
No, his minimum is 10,000. I think, Ray. He has a quota.
I couldn't. After the Hall of Fame, I just had to throw my phone out because every 8 seconds, Joe's posted on his 9 different.
My Instagram is so
platforms
funny.
he's got there. It's horrible.
So
hey guys, not to interrupt, I gotta cut out for a minute because we have family in from Arizona and they're gonna meet after a softball game for my niece, or not niece, cousin.
Right.
Sorry. So it's nice
Jeff, I'll
talking
see
to you
you at
guys.
one of these
I
old
really
school
appreciate the
reunions
time and
someday.
thank you for
Good
having me.
seeing
Really
you,
cool,
Jeff.
man. All you guys
Good
take
to
care,
see
man.
you,
We'll
Jeff.
talk soon.
Take it easy, buddy.
Take care of that knee.
Was that really
Ladies and
Jeff
gentlemen,
Cotter?
Jeff Cotter,
Yes, that was Jeff.
Pop Tart,
Cool.
Jeff Cotter, Scurfer,
Surfer
Can
to bar ride, Jeff
Scurfer.
Cotter. Yeah.
Every
He did
time I hear
Surfer to
Shell
Bar
Shock,
Ride.
I think of him. Yep.
Yeah.
He would do a bar ride where he just jump right from the pedals. Probably learned that from Eddie.
Yeah, that's a Pop Tart. I've done those.
Okay.
Not easy.
No. Well,
No.
it's one of those freakish tricks. I did it for the first time in a show. I swear to
Wow.
God, the first time I did Jump of Doom was in a show. I was in Hyperstoke. Well, I'll tell you the first story. So we in Brunswick, Ohio, we had this thing called Old Fashioned Days, which was a bunch of sort of nostalgic old timey type stuff. And they'd do a parade, and then we'd go to the high school parking lot, and the local BMX team, Brunswick Bicycle, was like, they would do shows. And so I would see these guys riding, and it was George Swiderski, Chuck Scrow, Anthony Adams, and there was some other guy who they always gave shit to because he was trying to get him to do doubles routines. He was the TM, but they just like busted his balls constantly. I forgot his name. Anyway, I tried out for the team and I got on the team, and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. My friend Joe Woods was like going higher on the quarter pipe than he ever had because he was just in Hyperstoke. And I was like, that's so crazy. And I went for a Jump of Doom frame stand to bar ride. I got it on the second try in a show. And then
Todd,
the next summer, and then the next summer we were doing like a rib, like one more like a rib cook off, a rib burn off or whatever. So they did those a lot. It was a rib cook off and a smash up derby. And at this point, I was also being able to spit on the mic. And we were doing a show, and Joe Woods was announcing, and there were a couple of girls that wanted to like hang out with the riders. I did not know how to talk to girls at that time. Anyway, so I did a Pop-Tart, and it turns out I did a Pop-Tart with a broken toe. I was in Hyperstoke. So yeah, respect.
I saw Joe do a Pop-Tart once at Joplin, Missouri in a contest.
That was an illusionary Pop-Tart. Anyway, I'm sorry, Todd. Continue. Tell the story.
Yep, sure. But I was just going to say he had a particularly bad run, and it was so bad he did a type of handstand, track stand kind of a thing that I don't think he practiced before. I just out of frustration, and then did a Pop-Tart at the end, and he pulled it. Which was kind of remarkable, actually.
Wait, I
Very
want to
small
hear.
space.
I want to hear
love
the
that Todd tells
handstand
that
track
story.
stand. Tell me how did that
I
work?
laid my bike down on the ground
Oh yeah,
and I
flat on the
pushed
ground.
up. Yeah, I just very quickly pushed up on like the handlebars and the seat post. I was so mad. And Fat Tony,
Yeah,
was it Fat Tony was announcing? He's like,
Yeah,
and handstand?
it was kind of sort of. It was an attempt out of frustration. Yeah. I think we've all been there. He did. Yeah. I think we've all been there one time or another where just nothing goes right, and you get to the point where it's like, okay, what am I going to do for the next 30 seconds? Well, Joe was kind of in that place, and he decided to go for a handstand, and then he did a Pop-Tart. And he pulled the Pop-Tart. So it's crazy.
I was so fucking pissed because I had practiced really, really, really hard for that contest. And I went out, it was so crowded inside, and Dub was buzzing us during amateur. And this is why I mercilessly bust Dub's balls, because he snaked me as an amateur. So anyway, I go outside, and this is Joplin, Missouri, and I find some place in the blacktop to work on it. Now, there was a sunblock sponsor at that show, and I can't recall if I partook in that sunblock sponsor or if I just put it in my pocket and thought that if I put it in my pocket it would work. And I rode outside for 3 hours, and I got ready for my run, and I got back in, and Scott Nagy goes, "Oh, dude, have you looked in the mirror?" And I go, "No, why?" He goes, "Look in the mirror." And so I look in the mirror, and I'm like, I'm so fucked. And what happens when you have sunburn, it does more than just burn your skin. It messes with a lot of stuff.
Your mental state. I mean, you can get kind of a little bit loopy.
And so that's how I started my run. And it melted down, and I was so goddamn pissed that at some point I was like, you know what? I can't walk off. I can't get out of this situation for another minute, but I can't stand falling for another minute. And so I was like, y'all are going to see the footprints in the Spam show. And that's when I did the handstand, and Todd thought it was funny. And Fat Tony was confused, which I found funny. And then I was like, let's do it. And boom, I got up into a bar ride. Now, here's the thing. In my mind, I got up into a bar ride, but both Todd and Tyler Gilliard said, "Holy shit, you did a Pop-Tart." And I said, "Really?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "I just tried to do a bar ride and I was pissed." And they're like, "That might be the way you do Pop-Tarts, Joe."
That's classic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was so angry. He literally, I still contend, I don't have video, but I still contend that he did a Pop-Tart and pulled it, and was still super mad.
But bar rides, no one was doing bar rides. And I think that, like no one was doing, you know what happened? There was some other trick I did. I was so pissed, I started taking my gloves off. And the very next contest, what's his name, Todd? Super spinner with the golf gloves.
Zulu?
No, Japanese rider. I can't.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Takahashi? No. Oh,
Akita?
I can't. Can't believe, and I'm not gonna. I'm scrolling down. I'm in about 2015, so I'm not gonna search for him. Somebody has to search for him because I'm not losing my place. I'm looking for Shawnee Meme.
I'm very busy. What's wrong?
You're very busy.
James McGraw told me he did the first Pop-Tart.
Yes. James McGraw told me
Yeah.
something else about you, Ray. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, James told me he did the first Pop-Tart because he, anything he says, he did it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
He should hang out with Dave more.
All right. So what else do we have on the list here? Joe Kid on a Stingray sequel. So this dipshit, this dipshit post Joe Kid on a Stingray because it like YouTube. Somebody uploaded it to YouTube, and then someone posted it to Facebook, and some dude. I was like, man, did Mark really? Is this Mark's? So we get on this thread, and Mark's like, I am the least excited that this is on there because all these dudes are like, oh, Joe Kid on a Stingray, finally it's available because Mark won't put it on Amazon streaming. I'm not saying that this is the start of a pressure campaign or anything, but Mark's got a lot of projects and there's a lot of people telling Mark great ideas. So I'm not going to pressure him. Anyway, these dudes were like, this is awesome. And Mark says, I am the least excited that this is on YouTube. And some dude goes, it's boring. Who even cares?
It's boring anyway. Who cares?
It's boring anyway. Who cares? And I was like, oh, well.
Then the Joe Sisman show started. and Joe, okay, remember how we were saying how like there's certain things I don't think are funny and like things don't make me laugh or whatever. Right after that kid did that, and then you sent the video of the sheep jumping in the little gully, getting stuck, getting out, and then getting right back in was the greatest thing ever because that's what was going to happen to that guy. And that made me laugh for like 20 minutes.
some other dude tried to like calm it down, and the dipshit doubled down. So we figured we're going to teach this motherfucker a lesson. And what we did was, with Mark's permission, I made Joe Kid on a Stingray 2 Electric Boogaloo. And it was the intro saying the next chapter of our story, completely not boring. We consulted with the fans, and we took that like his comment, and then the whole intro, like the Terradome Sports Science Research Center in dubious association with the Plywood Hoods from executive producer Footprints in the Spam presents Joe Kid on a Stingray 2 Electric Boogaloo. And then we cut to this guy's YouTube channel, and we just watch him doing tricks in a barn and in a parking lot. And then I put a bunch of applause until we got to 4 minutes and 43 seconds. I put that on, and then I go to all the Facebook groups, and I say, this is just released. It's finally here. This is it. This is the new generation. Joe Kid on a Stingray 2 for the TikTok generation. And I made 1,000 middle-aged men laugh, according to YouTube statistics, in one day. And they clicked on and they were like, who is this fucking clown? This is fucking boring. Who the fuck? Clickbait. And then for those who got it, they're like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. And this is my favorite part. This got conceived on a group chat with me, Ray, and Mark, which means that is authentically the sequel. That's my mic drop.
Good job, Joe. Good job.
I had so much fun last weekend.
I think it is safe to say that this guy will probably never speak up against anything online again.
No,
after something like that.
I think Joe shut him down.
He got taught such. That's Dave. That's how I do life coaching.
I know that's how you do life. I don't know about life coaching. I know that's how you do life.
He's better for having me in his life because I kept him from lipping off to like.
Let's have him on the show, Joe.
I have gotten lippy with the wrong dudes. And I got lippy at a bar and had a conversation with Mr. Fontalini and his 7 muscle guys. I'm just saying.
Even your Burger King ashtray was scared.
I know that you have to get corrected by your friends before you get overconfident with dudes who don't give a shit about you.
Especially in the eyes of Joe.
On that note, hey, I got to take off.
Thanks, Eddie.
That job application that you were talking about earlier, you know, I'm all good with it. So
good.
You know,
all right,
I'm in there.
Thank you, Eddie. We're going to talk about your performance, and we'll get back with you. Thank you for bringing your energy and your authentic self to the show today.
You got it, dude.
All right, my man.
Later, Eddie.
See ya.
See you, Eddie.
Bye.
Ikeda, is that the guy's name? Ikeda? Takahiro Ikeda?
Oh no, Eddie left his phone on.
No, that's Ray.
Oh, I think that's Ray.
Is it Ray? Oh, okay, good. Ray, I thought Eddie left his phone on and was going to take a poop or something.
He's applying for a new job. What is he? I thought he was a stuntman. Is his body falling apart too much now? What?
He's diversifying. He's looking for other jobs in entertainment, and so
really,
this was Eddie's audition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Eddie's auditioning for the show because we need a backup storyteller in case you flake out on us.
All right.
I was so scared.
Dave,
go on, Todd.
I'm not trying to at all change the subject at all, but I did have a question for you, Dave. And I saw some footage, I think that you posted this week or maybe last, and it reminded me of one of the tours with the tour host. I cannot remember his name. I think it was 87. Like long hair.
Nar. His name is Nar. He looked like Pauly Shore, right? He's like a surfer
guy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
It looks just like Pauly Shore. Now, what was his connection to BMX back in the day, and like, is he still connected at all, or where is he?
We're gonna have to talk about that off the show because apparently we can't talk about non-BMX related on this show. So Ray and Joe.
No, that's not what we said. No.
Okay.
We can talk about. You got to get it right. Don't start with me. You can talk about non-BMX stuff, but it's when you have non-BMX people on. It's when you have non-BMX people on. That's what, because a BMX guy, it's interesting if you talk to a BMX guy about other things in their life. But when you get somebody who has nothing to do with BMX and then they talk about shit that, you know, that they do, it's not interesting. So, you know.
I think Nar was like he knew tricks. Like he would say like trick names. You know, he would call your tricks out, Dave, and he would talk about trick names that Brian and Ron would do. So obviously he had some background in BMX, right?
So I believe Nar lived under the enchanted ramp at Ron's house. He was a surfer.
Oh no!
I swear to God. So Ron
ABD on Chase.
So Ron Wilkerson found Nar. We'll have to have Ron on and ask him because I don't know how that relationship began. But all I know is he's a surfer and he's from Leucadia, and he probably slept under the ramp a few nights. But I can't confirm that for sure. But the interesting about Nar, when he came on tour, so we just talked to him about the tricks and said, "Oh, this is this trick," and he was asking about. So we kind of just coached him as we went along. So probably the beginning of the tour, he didn't know as much of the names as we went on. He learned more. But yeah, there's some pretty funny stories about first 3 shows that Nar did with us. He blew the PA system up from yelling so loud into the PA. I kid you not.
Oh my goodness!
3 different PAs.
Wow.
He was like, ah!
Zach screams. Zach Yankish screamed so loud at at a Nitro Circus show that he gave himself a hernia. And he told us that story when he was in Dayton, and we went to see him, and we were hanging out, and he's like, "No, I got a hernia." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, I screamed too loud at the last show.
Now, it reminds me, Nar had definitely one style, and I actually thought he was a fun announcer. He kind of came in out of nowhere. I wasn't familiar with him, and then I haven't really seen him since that tour. But I also remember Sean Wilkerson.
Yep.
And his style was like Dave Norrie, woo! Brian Blyther, woo! It was always like the name and then the woo. like he had this cadence. It's like Large Ray, woo! Like always back to back like that. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
I can't.
Sean wrote a little bit, right?
Yeah, Sean wrote a little bit. He was in a magazine.
Sean wrote, for sure. Yeah.
He with that white white sport.
Yeah, he became a pilot and then flew for like the government or something. Like you couldn't even talk about like his mission.
Wait a second.
Seriously.
The government?
Yeah.
I know the whole story.
Wow, that's
Dave,
cool.
Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. Just to let you know.
All right.
What is the story? Hold on, before we tell that story, I just want you guys to take a look at probably some of the best interneting you could possibly buy.
Okay. I get it.
You see this picture?
I love
You see this picture?
Yeah, I love this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the caption that I created for you, Dave. According to sources, this photo was taken by Zach Shaw. Shows that Kevin Martin steals Ron Wilkerson's clothes and then wears them right in front of him, but never shows his back. That's how he gets away with it. Because look, Kevin Martin is wearing Ron Wilkerson's jersey.
But my point to all this, Joe, was that Kevin Martin could have bought that shirt on the sidewalk in Manhattan.
Okay. That's why I am your life coach, Dave, because you cannot recognize a funny ass joke when that's literally delivered right in front of you. If you had played along with that, that would have been so funny. But you decided to break my fourth wall. Like, that was so funny. That was so funny. You broke my fourth wall. You're a fourth wall breaker.
I'm a fourth wall breaker. I don't understand. Like, I was trying to.
You don't understand that joke?
No, I understand the joke. I was trying to just feed into it because the other story behind Wilkerson's clothing is that it got stolen and people would sell it on the street when we got broken into the van.
That's actually funny. I didn't okay,
so
read into
here
that.
you are critiquing my response to yours, and I was trying to add to it.
And you did, and now I get it.
Okay.
So basically, Joe,
funny.
Dave was being almost funnier than you, and you didn't recognize it. We may have to have our. We might have to have our first official apology.
Because
I'm sorry, Dave.
Let me just
I'm
tell
sorry,
the story
Dave.
again,
I'm
'cause I
sorry,
don't know if
Dave.
Todd heard the
I'm
story.
sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave.
Hey,
You were right. You were right.
I'm not trying to be right all the time. I was just trying to add to your humor. I thought it was great when I saw that. Great joke. I appreciate it. And
but now I should be apologizing to myself because I didn't.
You didn't want to let someone else be funny. You thought you were being funny, and then you couldn't see their humor because you were too worried about how funny you were.
Yeah, and
that's what it was.
And I want to know what
Hold
would
on
have
a second.
been
Hold on
a better
hold a second.
response, Joe. Tell me what I could have wrote that would have made
Hold
you
on a
feel
second.
good.
To be fair,
Todd knows what I'm talking about.
To be fair, the first time I read the comment was right now, and I didn't even read the whole thing.
Oh, that says
No,
everything.
that's bad.
I
Fine. I just won't comment if you're not going to spend the
no,
time to
keep
even
doing
read them.
it. It's so funny. I was
thought
just
it was
So
busy.
what could I have
funny.
said, Joe? What could I have said that would have been nice for you and make me like build on your joke? What could I have said?
That.
Okay, then I'll
Yeah, I think
continue to just
Joe-
be just be myself then, Joe. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm still coming. Look, I'm still coming off the I am VJ. You, for days, you had me convinced that you were trying to bring an investor onto the show, and I thought you had gone batshit. I was so concerned for your welfare
wait a
for the
minute.
last 3 days.
So Dave, wait a minute.
You guys
Joe
pranked me
doesn't
again.
Joe doesn't understand when people are either piggybacking onto his funniness or making jokes, like joking with Joe. He's so wrapped up in his own little weird Joe world.
Don't give
He
me
doesn't
this shit.
know when people are messing with him.
When Spike was on the
Yeah.
show dressed as Jim Delaval, that was good. But
That
you
was good.
fuckers,
Okay.
you fuckers got me. You got me on the other one with Ray has to quit the show. And I told you that the risk of you doing this is that you stop for a couple of weeks and then you act erratically and you change my focus and you get me thinking that Dave has actually flipped his lid, and I'm concerned about that, and then you sneak this stuff in on me again.
But literally, Joe, you have to
I wonder
realize
if that was really Jeff Cotter.
That wasn't.
That wasn't.
That was Jeff Cotter.
I said nothing to Ray about this. I just literally looked on my Instagram, found some investor, and sent that picture and said, "How about this guy?"
Yeah, he
and
didn't say
Ray chimed
anything.
in because Ray's like, "Dave, you're losing it. Wait, you might have to start your own show because
You
we
guys
can't have
are
anybody
so.
that's not
You
related
guys
to
are
bike."
so good. Your entire life is
No,
oriented
you guys,
around
I didn't
pranking
have
me.
anything to do with. No, I didn't. I wasn't a part of that prank. I didn't know what he was talking about. Dave did this one on his own.
There was
And
no
so, because I
conspiracy
just figured
here.
it'd be something.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Dave got me.
I need to.
Dave got me.
I need to tell this story so Todd knows the story about. So we got broken into the van many times when we were in New York, and one time, I believe it was a time in '88 when Sean Wilkerson was on tour with us as the announcer, and they stole not our bikes, but they stole our gear. Well, the next day we're riding. So we used to do street riding. Like that was the thing. We'd go out to the local spot and the riders would say, "Hey, we're going to go do a street run." And like Manhattan's got an amazing like course that you go through all through Manhattan. So we're cruising along with a pack of riders, probably 10 to 15 riders. And we stop and Wilkerson's like, "Oh my gosh, those are my Jimmy Z shorts on the sidewalk that this lady is selling." And not only that, he was Mormon at the time, so he had Mormon underwear, and there were his Mormon underwears were also on display and were for sale.
Holy
so
cow.
the joke about the jersey is that Kevin Martin could have bought the jersey off the sidewalk in Manhattan because Wilkerson's clothes have been known to be sold on the streets in Manhattan.
That is so funny.
And
really
I
funny.
just remember Ron's reaction was the best. He couldn't believe it. He was like, what the, and he just started like picking up all his underwear and his, whatever he could grab and just like shoving it into like under his arms and just like riding off. And he couldn't leave. He's like, dude, that was my, right there. It was classic. So we'll have to ask Ron to relive that story as well.
Holy
It's good
cow,
to have
that
you
is
back,
amazing.
Dave.
That's a whole episode.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
exactly.
Just imagine someone out there probably owns Ron's like bootleg jersey that they bought off the street somewhere in their house. Ray, do you know anything about this? You know anybody that has any bootleg Wilkerson gear?
No. Nothing.
Bootleg Ron Wilkerson's Mormon
Bootleg
underwear.
Ron Wilkerson gear.
It's like
The Mormon underwear.
it's like gamer girl bathwater that people buy nowadays.
Oh my God.
What?
You haven't heard of this?
No, I have not.
Oh boy.
Okay.
This is gonna be
Okay, really fast. There are these Instagram or like live stream models, and they're called gamer girls, and it's like kind of like an anime dress up type of it's a total genre, okay?
Right.
Well, they sell little containers, like, you know, like on airlines, you get the little
Yeah.
liquor bottles
Right.
of their bath water, and dudes buy it.
Wow.
Yes.
Ray, do you own any of that?
I usually just buy their urine and spit, but I can see what he's getting at. Yeah.
and I think maybe that's what we do for Back for More in 24 is, Dave, you just
Dave's gonna sell his bath water.
sign your underwear and do a show. do a session. No, do your Dave Norrie Bike Academy, okay? And then take your socks off, sign them, and then put them in a Ziploc bag and sell them. Is
Dave,
this
I
going
do
too
think
far,
that
Dave?
There
I
might
won't
be a
do that.
market for Dave Norrie spit. There might be a market for that.
Oh my God.
I do remember Ron Wilkerson. He did the 2-hip contest, ramp contest in Flint, and the same weekend we had a contest in Ohio, and he actually drove down to that contest to just to kind of hang out and check out the AFA, and maybe just promote 2-hip a bit. And when he did come down, he kind of rode ramps a little bit with some of the other riders. And as he was kind of sitting around, he sniffs a little bit, then spits on the ground. And there were dudes literally that were standing around that were like looking at each other thinking, should we pick this up? Because Ron Wilkerson just spit on the ground, and this could be ours to keep. That's kind of the rock star status that I remember from that time. Amazing.
I tried to sell Dave Norrie's water bottle that he drank half of, and it never froze. And it was cold in Ohio in the Terradome, and Dave Norrie has some type of backwash spit that prevents drinking water from freezing. And so
you never sold it. So
well, I didn't do the marketing of it properly. So anyone watching this show, hit up the show DM, and if you want to get your hands on Dave's magical backwash that does not freeze, hit me up, and we'll raise money for, or actually, whoever next donates $43 to the Back for More in 24 will get that. And so please race now, whichever of you gets in first, and it has to be 43, and make some comment, or 43 make the comment, and then you'll win that. So Dave, that's how you raise money.
Your marketing is just amazing, Joe.
How's it coming for Back for More in 24, Dave?
We gotta put together another meeting to kind of hash things out a little bit more.
Okay.
That should solve everything in another meeting.
Well, that's at least something. Get it moving.
Dave, you have to register. If you don't register, set up withdrawals.
I know. I got.
You have like 2 days left.
No, it's not 2 days. It's sometime in December.
Check the email.
I did. I have it.
And what does it say?
Check it again.
It's
Check
December
it again.
something.
December what?
It's December.
December
15th?
what?
20th, maybe.
Look, this is me being Dave
Tell
Norrie's
him.
secretary again.
You don't have
Show
to be
him,
my
Joe.
secretary. This is.
You must set up withdrawals before December 25th.
And
There you go.
and we have
Merry
to check to make
Christmas.
sure NAR is available as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I don't know.
Check his-
Yeah, Wilkerson will probably still. Wilkerson probably hangs out with Nar still. Go surfing with him, maybe.
I know how you guys could get all the money for this Back for 24 thing. You need to add an opening act, and I know exactly who to get. I've seen a lot of his stuff lately on the interweb. There's a performer that if you got like what?
Like a
Say
Menudo
it, Todd.
opening act.
Very
Like a
close,
Menudo
very close to
opening act.
Menudo. And I'm not saying this as a joke. I would pay money to see this show. If you could get Corey Feldman to open up for you guys, because he was from the 80s,
God.
you guys are from the 80s, and Corey is looking for a gig. Dave's looking for a gig. I think the two of them together. I mean, how hard could it be to get Corey Feldman? Is it Feldman? The kid from the Goonies. He does the Michael Jackson dancing.
I just
tell me you would not.
Yeah, you just met him.
What?
Yeah, I just met him this summer, Ray. I'll send a picture to you in a moment.
Yeah.
Did you have actual words with him? Did you actually converse with him?
I talked with him about 10 minutes, actually. Yeah, my boys and I did, and his wife. Yes. He was actually very
where
kind.
did you meet him? Was it just at a restaurant or something?
It was in Columbus, actually. He was doing a tour, a musical tour with his band, and one of his stops was in Columbus back in August, and I had seen that where he was going to be there, and so I went to the concert. And my boys are big fans of like the Lost Boys, Goonies, Gremlins, the Burbs. So they've known him for a very long time, or at least seen his work. And so we all went and got to meet him, and it was actually really, really cool. He was super nice, super kind. But anyway, yeah.
Look
I'm
at
sure
that.
He would be a great
Look at that, Joe.
Yeah, that's so good. So
maybe not even an opening act, maybe like a conjoined event.
A conjoined event. So what do you think?
The horror
how should we get to Corey Feldman's people? Should we ask? Oh, Eddie. We should ask Eddie to connect.
Eddie's in show business. Yep.
Eddie's in show business. Let's get Eddie to. So this is the other thing that we'll have Eddie do is leverage his stardom and his Hollywood access now that he's part of the show.
Wait, we hired him? Did we officially?
Oh,
hire
I'm
him?
sorry. We have to discuss. I'm sorry. Now is when we discuss the pros and cons of Eddie's audition. I was making an assumptive close. I thought all you guys, but yeah, let's go around the room. Todd, what do you think of Eddie's audition?
You know, I didn't get the full picture of his audition since I was a little bit late, but I would say with Eddie, you know, he is the king, and he has a fan base like no other, and he's also a very, very funny guy, and he's a good communicator as well, and he has, you know, continues to have style for miles. So I'm all in for Eddie Fiola.
You're on Team Eddie. You want to be in the Eddie Fiola business with us?
Sure. Yeah.
You want us to be in the Eddie Fiola business?
I do.
Okay, Ray, what do you think?
I think Eddie doesn't even need to audition. Today wasn't an audition. He just was here because his life has been the audition. You know, I think Todd kind of already said that, but you know what I mean. It's like Eddie Fiola is like, you know,
that's how you do an audition. Your entire life.
That's how you do an audition. Yeah.
You live your entire life, and then one day somebody makes a decision. So Ray, you want us to be in the Eddie Fiola business?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. So Dave.
Well, there's just no question. I mean, Eddie's always going to deliver. He's always going to be genuine. He's not going to hold back. He'll sit there for a half an hour while Ray completely roasts him and just take it like a man. And I think all those qualities are perfect. So yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like what both Todd and Ray said. It's not even a question. It would be an honor to have the king part of it.
All right.
Part of all of our doings and whatnot.
Dave, would you like to do the honor of banging the gavel?
I think you're going to say firing yourself.
Oh wait, is he replacing me?
No.
Okay, I'm out.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm out.
You don't get to quit.
I'm out.
All right. So Eddie gets the job. We got to start a group text with Eddie now.
All right.
We should, you know, while we had Eddie on, and I'm sure we can ask him some other time, but Joe, in your weird slow motion head nodding delivery, you could ask Eddie how does he feel about having his helmet next to my helmet in the bicycle museum?
I absolutely love that. I love that. That's so awesome. I love that photo.
You don't know how excited I was when I saw Gork putting that thing in the with all the helmets. I was like, no way. Here it is. He's putting it in there.
Yeah, and Wilkerson is like below yours, I think, right?
It's like there's Wilkerson's is up top, and then there's Matt's helmet, Matt's, Eddie Fiola's, my helmet, and then Volker's helmet. And I think they're pawning it off on that it was Kevin Jones's helmet, which is even better. Because that makes it even better that it got him. Well, because Bill Batchelor had the photo. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bill Batchelor had some great photos of Kevin, and at the Hall of Fame they had like Kevin's big board with all his pictures, and they had that picture with the helmet, and so so yeah, it's a Kevin Jones. It's like a game worn jersey, like for football. It's a competition worn helmet by Kevin Jones. Just happened to be mine. So
I get to the reception, and it takes 2 minutes. Like I see the guys, and I just keep looking over at the trophy case, and Ray goes, "You want to go over and look at it together?" And I go, "Yes." And we walked over there with the biggest smiles, and I was like, the whole time I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is what the event is about.
Yeah.
And he showed me, and he told me the whole story. And I think I have video. I say, back up and tell me the story. And Ray, I start shooting, and Ray tells me the story of how Gork puts it in, and he's pointing to it, and there it is. And I'm just flying by, and it's like, this is it. This is the GOAT. It was incredible.
Because the way I think I was explaining it to you, I think the whole my whole reason for being involved in the sport of freestyle, this was the end. Not the end, but all that, like how we were making fun of Rich Segur, that Rich Segur was just riding so he could get, he was doing it for fun, but he was hoping that he could get paid.
You were like Indiana Jones.
That could have been a shot. You
were like Indiana Jones putting the idol back in place when everyone else was trying to rob it to sell it to get rich.
Yeah. So here it is, like 35 years later. My helmet's going into the BMX museum the same way that when they were editing the magazine, they were like, "Yo, who's this dude?" "Oh, I don't know. It's Gary Pollock's friend, some dude Ray, and he's a weird guy, and he shows up at the contest." And then, hey, wait, here he is again. He's at this other contest, and then here he is again, and then I just kept showing up to where it became the normal thing, where it's like, here's the contest, oh, and here's Ray, and so now it's like, oh, here's the BMX Museum Hall of Fame, and oh, and by the way, here's Ray's helmet.
Yeah, of course, like it's a given. It's a given.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's gonna, and it sticks out like a sore thumb in the case, like all the other like in all the other helmets. Like, it's next to the Eddie Fiola Mohawk.
Yeah, that's
the stickers.
That's the classic helmet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most iconic helmet in freestyle, and it's all shiny and all nice and Hollywood up. It looks beautiful, and then you got my full-on shit bucket of a helmet right next to it.
It was a shit bucket of a helmet.
It's a total shit bucket,
and it's been beat up by, because many people wrote it too, right? Because you had Kevin and didn't other writers write it?
A lot of guys.
There were other people that wrote it, but I don't have any. That contest we just had, Bill Batchelor took a bunch of pictures and Kevin had it on. But I had it, I think, in Texas, and I think everybody wore it because a lot of people didn't bring, like, they either lost their stuff or they didn't bring a helmet. Like, I remember a lot of people back then, like, especially Flatlanders, would be like, "Oh, I don't have a helmet," and so.
Because helmets for Flatland is so weird. Honestly, like, I can't even imagine. We should do that. Should be a contest now. Like, you have to wear a Bell helmet, because like dudes are like, "Oh, hey."
Oh yeah,
nowadays Flatland is so much harder than the old stuff. It's like, dude, no, wait, put that helmet on and do your Flatland routine.
Dave, didn't you have like a full face helmet for your first Flatland contest?
So when
or
Eddie,
something like that.
when Eddie was my idol, and then when I got on Haro, and they're like, okay, so we have these Bell helmets, and I got a yellow. It was a full face helmet, and trying to do a Gumby with that was just like insane. Yeah, it's huge. But the other thing I wanted to point out, Ray, is that your helmet also, it survived the time period, and it actually rode in an AFA contest just this year. None of those other helmets can say that.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very, like that took, I mean, and Andy obviously, took a lot for him to get back into the contest scene, and now he's competing, he's doing better. But that helmet was, was so motivating to him, and that lives in that helmet. So I think there's quite the story to tell.
And Ray,
oh my gosh, I didn't post.
Ray, so many people are going to go to the Hall of Fame and see that helmet and immediately remember, holy cow, this is Large Ray's helmet from
without a doubt,
Arizona, 1987. 100%. And Kevin wore this helmet, and because it was in freestyling, and so many people recognize that, and it is amazing that it's in the Hall of Fame now. It's so cool.
Yeah, we were in Las Vegas one time. We were at the Nora Cup thing in 2002 or 3, and I hadn't seen Rick Moliterno since like 1989 or something. And he walked up to me, and I was like, "Oh my God, Rick!" We started talking. The first thing he asked me goes, "Do you still have your eyeball helmet?" And then the story I think I told Joe, the short version is I had that helmet. And in like 1990, a friend of mine was picking up a motorcycle and didn't have a helmet to ride it home. So I said, "Oh, I have a helmet at home." So I brought it into work, and I gave him the helmet. We went and picked up his motorcycle, and he went home. And like 20 years later, he's like, "Hey, my grandparents are moving out of that house, and we have a helmet in the garage, and they say it's yours." I'm like, "What helmet?" And they're like, "I don't know. It's like a helmet with like this, there's a helmet with like some kind of spider web on it." And I'm like, "Is it an eyeball?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's where that goddamn helmet is." So that helmet lived in Red Dog and Millie's garage for 20 years until I got it back.
Wow.
Joe's texting somebody. He's chewing gum and texting somebody.
Yeah. Angie needs
picking on Joe. Joe,
no, I'm finding the eyeball helmet because my I'm gonna send it to myself. My photos on Mac is not syncing up with the photos on my phone, and so I was searching for the eyeball helmet in the case, and here it comes, because this is my photo of it. There it is.
Wow.
I mean, maybe you sent this to me, but look at that. There's Eddie's helmet down in the lower left, is,
and then Volker's
Jamie,
next.
Yeah, Volker's next to it.
Jamie Bestwick's is there.
Yeah.
Up top, there's TJ Lavin, Jamie Bestwick, and then somebody else. There's like I forget who, but I wonder if they're gonna put it up on a little pedestal and make a little nameplate thing for it.
Is that Wilkerson's below you?
Oh, the bottom helmet's
the
one below it it's a Bob Haro replica. It's a Bob Haro replica.
Bob Haro.
Okay. Nothing. It's Bob Haro's knocking off himself.
Yeah, it's a fake Bob Haro helmet. Kind of like how Andy's was a fake eyeball helmet. But his was more of a tribute. There was nothing fake about Andy's. There it is.
Oh, this is the other. No, this is the other trophy case. Oops.
Yeah. Oops is right.
Hey, let me show you. I've got pictures of Scratchcock.
Scratchcock.
So Todd.
Oh my God, if we could have that dude on.
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So Todd, did we tell you about Scratchcock?
No. I did see a text or two about referencing that, and I wasn't sure what that was.
So Gene Rodin, the guy who invented freestyle or freestyle shows at rodeo halftimes, he's where Ray and Warren are talking to him, and I roll up, to say hi to Ray, and I go like this to Ray, and Ray goes,
You're
and he
gonna wanna
goes,
see this guy.
he goes, just stand right here. And Gene's talking about some story, and he's like, he was
You want
talking
me to
about
do
how every state has their own Hall of Fame. He's like, and so you can go to Scratchcock, Pennsylvania, set up shop, and call it the Pennsylvania Hall of Fame. And Ray bumps me,
Brett
and he
Downs,
goes,
Brett Downs did. No, Brett Downs went to me and went, did you hear that? Scratchcock, PA. Scratchcock, Pennsylvania. And I'm like, Scratchcock, Pennsylvania, Joe. Like that was the reason Joe went to this event, was for that moment right there, to hear a man say Scratchcock, PA.
Totally worth it.
But Ray, you do your version of him coming up with the show idea, because you did a great impression of him.
What show idea?
Well, he's the one that came up. He's the one that came up with the idea to do shows.
Oh, that I just said it, didn't I? Didn't we already say it?
Yes.
Yeah, but in
hear it again.
I want to hear your interpretation. You did it on the phone earlier when you did it in his voice. Impressed.
Tell the story again, Ray, with the voice.
No, but you did it in his voice. You said
he did.
But wait, what I'm getting at is, you want me to tell the story again on the same show, like right now? Like I just did it, and now you want me to do it again. It's like if you went out and did a Gumby, and then like towards the end of the show, someone's like, Dave, do that Gumby again. Just go out and do it again, but over
Dave
there.
will do it. Dave will do a Gumby as many times during a show. It's called a double Gumby.
Maybe what he's saying is, maybe I did it very early on, and Todd wasn't here when I explained it.
That's what he did.
Yeah, the impersonation of him, his voice, and how he describes.
I do wonderful.
And the way you describe the half.
You just want to hear me. Joe, he wants me to say
pipe
pipe jump in a. He wants to hear me say pipe jump in that accent. Now, what y'all gonna do is I would get a couple of them there. I'd get a couple of them long hair surfer boys to do them tricks on the BMXs, and I'd push a couple of them pipe jumps together, and I'd get them to do that trick they do up on them pipe jumps, and then
do the line again, Ray. Do the line.
I wanted Todd to get that experience. Thank you, Ray. Okay, thank you.
That was absolutely worth it, Dave. Thank you. That was.
Yeah, see, Todd, that's my point.
Yeah.
I have never ever
jump here.
About.
Yeah.
I can't believe they let us hang out together.
About 1987. In 1987, Dennis McCoy, like if you ever been with Dennis when he goes on his rants, a young Dennis McCoy was way more funny than today's Dennis McCoy. Like Dennis is still really funny, but he had a different energy about himself when he was a kid, and he was explaining him riding in his backyard and people from the town coming to watch him, and he's like, "I'll tell you this, Raybo. People would come up and they say, 'There's Dennis McCoy.' So I'd grab my bike, I'd set my bike on top of the pipe jump, and I'd say, 'All right, here we go,' and I'd cherry pick or drop in, and I'm like, 'Wait, what you're setting on top of what?' He goes, 'On the pipe jump.' And when he called a quarter pipe a pipe jump, I have never called a quarter pipe again, or a half pipe again. I could be talking to the owners of Woodward about something, and I would say, yeah. And if you guys are gonna build a wedge ramp there, and a pipe jump there, then that's where I would do it. And they would just look at me like, did that dude just like? I will not say half pipe; it's a pipe jump. It's out of respect and comedy.
Yeah,
I've never heard that before. I've never heard that.
I hadn't either. I'd never heard Dennis say it, that's for sure.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Yeah, that's all I ever called is a pipe jump.
So
from now on, pipe jump.
Well, there was the other the other one that ruined it for me is I was talking to one of Maurice Meyer's friend, this guy Angelo, who was a rider from way back in the day in NorCal, and he worked at a bike shop, and he was like, he's like, yeah, the one thing I really miss is like the little inner city kids coming in, because they would ask for parts, but they would ask it in their like native tongue with their own lingo. And he's like, it was so good. He's like, I'd have to write it down. And I'm like, why? What'd they say? He goes, dude, this one kid came in and he goes, I need a chair stand, some stunt nubs, and a speed thermometer. And like, you can't make that up. Like, a chair stand was the seat post. He needed some stunt nubs, which we all know what they are. And then a speed thermometer is the greatest thing ever. Like, you can't get better. You can't get better than it.
Thermometer.
Yep.
I'll tell you.
They go flying down the hole. They go flying down the hills, and they got to know how fast they're going.
I'll tell you what. When I did the Africa, the first Africa Expo contest with Che. So Che, who runs Nigeria, hits me up and he goes, "Hey Joe, I want to have a video contest. Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And it was me, Bobby Carter, and Hiro Tushita. And Che reached out to Hiro. Is incredible. Okay. And Hiro is the one who got Matt in Wilhelm riding. Hiro is an OG. And then there's Bobby Carter, who did the Diversion series, very famous. And then he includes me. So I'm like, wow, I had better step it up because it's Hiro, for crying out loud, and Bobby. And so I'm like, well, what can I do? And then I was like, oh, I got an idea. I'll do the prizes. And I wrote some inspirational ad copy, and I hit up dudes DM and was like, look, Che is having this contest, and the prize is going to be bike parts for these dudes. Because if you watch the Africans, there was one dude who was riding on half a bike. The rear triangle was busted off, and he had a seat so he could do steamrollers, but that was it. So, and he left the pedals on, which was pretty incredible. And I was like, all right, we're going to do this.
They also ride on sometimes like a hard dirt surface, which is absolutely incredible. Yeah.
They're my favorite riders on earth.
Yeah.
Without a question. And so I start raising money, and I end up raising like $2,000. Wow. $2,000-$3,000, something ridiculous. And I call Pat and I say, Pat, look, I need your help with this. And he goes, I can give you a discount. And I'm like, no discount. No discount. No one is taking a haircut on here except for the people who donate. And I told everyone who donated that, look, I'm going to pay Pat full price for this stuff. I'm not trying to cheat anyone. So the contest goes down. Me and we judged it, or who knows? Maybe I judged it. But the prize, I did judge it. And Cobby Cross had like the most authentic, amazing, I can't even tell you how good his entry was. It pulled my heartstrings, and I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy. And we had this long judging conversation. And I'm like, this is the guy. And I sent it off. I sent his video off to Jim McKay, and I was like, Jim, tell me I'm not smoking crack, that this is the guy. And Jim is like, I don't even believe this. This is the guy. So fine, Cobby wins. We had like 3 or 4 different categories. And now I've got to spend $3,000 on 15 dudes who don't know the names for the parts they need. And even if they did, they don't know the difference between 3/8 axle and 14 mil. And I realized how fucking much work I signed myself up for. And it was like weeks going back and forth with every one of them to find out what part of their bike was broken and whether they could reliably install the parts. So I get done with it all. I'm like, fine. I put in the order, and then Pat goes, "Hey Joe, here's the shipping on this order." And the shipping was sometimes more than the bike parts. And I was like, fuck. I paid the shipping. It was like $1,200 in shipping. So I get that all. I know it's insane. But Ray, I'm a great guy. I'm a greater guy.
Are you
than
really?
I realize. I've told you that. Look at how he
Thanks for telling us, Joe. Thanks
all
for
right,
telling
good.
us.
Now I
We
got
were
your attention
questioning
back
that.
because I know that I'm talking.
Ray,
I'm moving my head, but I'm talking
He jumped
fast.
to attention. Did you see him jump to
Yeah,
attention
yeah.
when you said
Joe,
that?
He did.
Joe told me he's a great guy. I love great people.
Yes, I know. I know.
Wow.
Okay,
So
so
great to have you, Joe.
I get the money for shipping over to Pat. It's over. Fantastic. I'm like, dude, you got to find something else you can do. But like, Pat was like, I told you to be a pain in the ass. And I said, Pat, I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass. I didn't know how much. If I knew how much of a pain in the ass it was, I wouldn't have done it, which is why I didn't ask. I knew that Che needed something to get done. And there was one person who could get it done, who would be willing to get it done. So I got it done. Then the guys start emailing because there's a duty on it. And they can't get it out of the post office.
Western Union.
So then I got to start doing Western Union to the
Oh
guys.
my God.
And some of the guys, I got to
goodness.
send the money to their brother. And this takes like
Joe, you got scammed so bad.
No, I didn't get scammed because I know all the guys individually. Like I'm friends with them on Instagram.
They're all writers. They're writers,
legit.
so.
They're legit. So I helped
Okay.
them get through all that stuff. Now the next year, someone else kicked in for bike money and they're like, hey Joe, Bobby Carter was like, Joe, we sent the stuff over to these guys and they got it locked up in duty. And I'm like, all right, well, this is what I did last year. And he's like, can you just take care of it? And I'm like, fine. I talked to the guy. Western Union shut me down because they said, no, these are suspicious transactions. And I'm like, okay, hang with me. He's not a prince, but he is Nigerian. And I sent him money for bike parts on an Instagram, in an Instagram contest. And it's actually his brother who needs the setup. They're like, Mr. Sisman, I'm sorry. I can't not get this through my compliance officer.
And then you said you have a friend named Catfish.
And then
And that's like they're like, you are being
And
catfished,
Gumby.
sir.
And Gumby said to do it.
Yeah, and Gumby.
Gumby said to do it.
Wait a minute. The one thing, Joe, you said you knew it was legit because you're friends with these people on Instagram. So does that mean the 963 people that I know on Instagram are all my friends? And I should send
Well,
them a
I go
dollar?
back and forth with them. I go back and forth with them. Like
They
I'm
do actually
back
ride.
and forth.
They post videos. of
Todd,
them
you're
riding and stuff.
you're ruining it. I'm trying to make Joe feel bad about being a nice guy, and you're ruining it.
I
But I can see your
Joe-
pompadour through the sunroof.
It's
Yeah,
this show is going to win.
thank you,
anyway.
Ray.
The show's
God
gonna win
knows
an Emmy,
that's-
probably because you had DJ Lung Mustard in the beginning,
Yeah,
DJing some Soundgarden,
DJ and some sound.
and then you had
So-
Jeff Cotter. We don't even know if it was really him.
It was.
Looks
Jeff
a lot like Jeff
Cotter.
Cotter, I must say. And he knew all the
And
tricks that,
the
you know.
Jeff Cotter that I knew wasn't him. The Jeff Cotter I know had braces and a mullet
Mhm,
True.
Sure. Yeah.
and rode the shell
So-
shocked all the time.
So let's talk about Bill's exhibit. I was super stoked. There was an empty spot in the Hall of Fame, like reception area. And we had Bill go get his Laird frame and set up. And I tapped on the shoulder of some folks and I was like, hey, can you guys come with us? And we need some people in the photo. We meet Greg Sutherland there and he's like, hey, I'm Greg Sutherland. And I'm like, awesome. Can you come be in this photo with us? And there was this woman with this like crazy red hair. And I was like, perfect. We need crazy red hair, bunch of people. And she's sitting there watching a bunch of dudes taking pictures, and she's like, what is going on? Because it looks like a little stage. Bill takes his shirt off and gets up on there and starts doing this, and she's like, he's the stripper.
He was the stripper.
Bill, and you're talking about Nitschke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so funny, Dave. Oh my God, it was so funny.
I thought it was like, you know, like I can't think of a good slogan for Bill, like his campaign for the Hall of Fame, but it looked like a nice, like photo that you would see on a poster for Elect Bill Nitschke Hall of Fame 2024. You know, because he had his bike there, he had, you know, he was up above kind of everybody else. He had a little crowd standing around him, you know, supporting him. It was very like a politician shot, you know, standing and shooting upward at him to
Yes.
make him look, you know, communicate an element of importance.
I
thought it was great.
have everything from the start. Okay, so Todd, I'm going to share this, and then you tell that story again, and I'm going to flip through all of the photos in sequence. Okay, sorry. So this is one that I got of Brett was fake sleeping.
That's a stage.
Brett-
That was a stage photo.
Brett takes more naps at events than anybody I know. He naps. We nap here, is what we say
We-
to Brett. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's Bill's bike, and I think this was kind of the beginning of what we thought. Okay, maybe this is a Bill Nitschke exhibit.
Yep.
You know, maybe the Hall of Fame is doing a thing where they, you know, nominees for the next class of Hall of Fame members, they, you know, kind of showcase to generate some buzz.
Okay, so now we're like, hey, let's get a little bit stoked. And now they're like, okay, yeah, let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Oh, look, there's more people coming over. Mark's bringing more people. Oh, look at all these other people coming over. Hey, is this really still legit? Should I actually still be sitting here? No, it'll be fine. Hey, what do you guys got there? Well, I did shows with Bill. Oh, you did shows with Bill? How do you know Bill? Hey, here we go, guys. Let's get a few more. Joe, get an aerial shot. Bill, we have this idea. Well, this is Mark pitching Bill on the idea. This is Bill drinking. I think this is Bill. I think Bill was drinking Maker's Mark. Okay, I got this idea. Hold up.
You have to notice Bill has even a sweatshirt on at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark is
Which
explaining.
Is kind of unusual.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joe, are you getting all this? Yes, Mark, I'm getting sequence shots. But Bill,
Oh,
we
sure,
think that
come
you
on.
could actually be.
Oh.
She turns her head away. She look at redhead.
Oh.
She turns her
Oh,
head
yeah,
away.
she turns her head.
She's like, what did I get myself into?
She's not quite sure what's happening here.
She's not quite sure what's
she's
happening
picking
here.
something off of her shirt. Oh no,
Yeah,
wait.
she's
She's getting her glasses?
Now
I
she's
like that he's got to put his lanyard back on.
Okay.
So then she's like, all right, well, maybe Bill's just going to sit down and have a drink. But
Look at
But
her.
no.
Look at her question. Like, wait a minute.
How
I don't
is-
know about this guy.
She's like,
Look at her.
what did I get myself? What did I get myself into here?
why did Bill go
He's drinking.
backwards onto this stage? I don't get this.
Because he wants to maintain FaceTime with the people.
All right.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. He turned around. Okay.
Yeah, okay. He turns around.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, yep.
All right. So now Mark is giving Bill direction. You can see the eye contact. Terry is checking the grips. She's
Making
still
sure his
like,
bike-
should I still be here? Is this still okay?
And she's kind of pushing closer to the other girl there on the side of the stage.
And look at dude down in the corner. I forget his name. Brian, was it? But he did shows with Bill.
Okay.
And there we go.
And where's Ray? Where's Ray in this sequence?
This is Ray.
Right
lower
there.
left.
This is Ray. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, is that Ray? Because Ray's got like he's taking the aerial shots. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
Aerial shot from large Ray. You're what, 6'7", Ray?
6'10", yeah.
Yeah.
6'7".
And then we just keep going. I keep backing up to get more people.
And
Yes.
that's amazing, right? That's amazing, right? That's the Hall of Fame campaign shot.
Yeah.
There, because it looks
I'll
like
tell
he's
you
kind of
this.
wearing a podium medal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If Bill ever does get into the Hall of Fame and has to do his speech, if he doesn't do it shirtless, I'm leaving. He's got to do it shirtless.
Oh God.
So Dave, this is the State of the Naked Gumby shirt at the reception. As you can see, there's already quite a bit of folks signing it. And then back.
Now, how long?
Rumor is it though that you signed the shirt before you went there? That's what I've heard. I've got a couple of people.
No, I
messaging
saw
about that.
No, I saw him pull the shirt out of his bag, and the shirt, no pun intended, was naked.
I watched
Eddie Fiola was the first guy to sign it, I think. He was. Eddie was.
Yeah, and
Eddie was the first, and I was the
apparently
last
there's
one
two
to sign
shirts
it.
that he had, Ray. He had one that he left blank so that would be covered, because obviously that was something he would be caught doing. So
I only made one
talking
shirt,
about?
and Ron Wilkerson has it. Oh, wait a second. Let me show the zine that I made that I included with the shirt to Ron. Dave, did I tell you about this zine that I created?
I think you might have mentioned it, yeah. And have you heard from Ron? Did he call you about the shirt, or what?
He did not call me about the shirt. He texted. He sent a picture of him holding it.
Oh, great.
Yes. So I don't.
So we can
know.
move on. Finally, we can move on. Thank you. Okay, and next.
No, Joe doesn't move on from things.
I don't
No.
move on.
He
from
probably
things.
does. He doesn't want to wear it as it's quite delicate, so he wants to keep it in, as a like a wall hanger. Sure.
Yeah, there's been a supply chain constraint with shadow box frames, and so I think that's what he's waiting on.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I think I wrote it before I went to the Hall of Fame. Anyway, there's a Factor Freestyle zine that tells the whole story of the Naked Gumby, and we're going to release that. And so you can buy, look for your ability to buy a copy, a digital copy or a physical copy of the Factor Freestyle issue 1 zine. And if you want to go to Back for More in 24, and what's the code that they should enter? 4343 for the first prize, which was what the hell was the first prize? Do you guys remember? Do you remember the first prize?
What's the question again? I'm sorry, I was very busy.
You said the water bottle, Joe, that I left that won't freeze.
Oh yeah, Dave's.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Dave's backwatch.
Is anybody watching? Is anyone listening?
Well, if
Okay,
you get
continue.
$43 exactly, then you'll get what did I just say that was going to be the second prize?
Oh,
Dave,
the second prize.
Yeah,
The
second
zine.
prize. Oh, the zine.
Seriously, Joe, you can't keep your thoughts. Oh my gosh.
Well, Dave, this is teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, but your stream of consciousness is just like way out of whack. I don't get it. Like
It's
we
just
just talked about the
fast-paced.
zine. That's what we were just talking about. The zine.
I had to
Any
write things
ideas?
down. That's the problem. I get like multiple thoughts at once, and so I have to write them down. That's
It's
why I talk
exhausting.
slow.
It's exhausting.
Hey,
at times.
you want to run with the big dogs, Charlie Murphy? You want to run with the big dogs?
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, that's what Rick James said to Charlie Murphy. Like, Charlie Murphy, you want to run with the big dogs? Rick James.
Yeah, Eddie's brother. Yeah,
Eddie's brother. All right, so this is good. For 4343, when you donate to Back for More in 24, you will win first prize. First person to send this in gets Dave Norrie's water bottle that does not freeze. He has some magic backwash. But if you would like a copy of the zine, $43 exact, and I will send you, and that'll go, whoever does 4343 first gets Dave's water bottle, but there's only one of them. But if you want the actual zine, it's $43, and you can send that as many and as many people as possible can get the zine.
And it's
So
not digital. You're only printing those.
I'm going to print them. I'm going to actually.
You can't do
print them.
digital, right?
No,
Zines are
no.
not. That would be like sacrilege.
I was thinking about like how to do layout digitally and then print, but yeah, the zine.
Can I interrupt real quick? I have a question for Todd. Todd, are you there?
There we go.
Yes, I'm here, Ray.
So when Joe does what he's doing right now, he's like $43.43 for a water bottle, and then $43 for the zine. Do you think Joe really thinks somebody is like somewhere thinking like, oh, wait, you know what, we can buy, or I can buy Dave's bottle? Like Joe puts so much time and effort and enthusiasm into this, but I'm pretty sure no one's going to buy this water bottle. What do you think? Like, as knowing Joe and knowing what's going on here, what do you think? Do you think Joe really thinks somebody's going to buy it? Is Joe a crazy person, or is he just like?
No, Joe is not a crazy person.
Do you think? Do you think anyone's going to buy? Two questions. Do you think Joe thinks that someone's going to buy it, and do you think somebody is going to buy it? I'm hoping the answer is no and no, but anyway.
I do think that Joe thinks someone is going to buy it or them. Because to be honest,
right.
Joe would, if Joe saw that marketed, Joe would buy one or both, right? Right, Ray?
No,
and so I do. Think
try to make what I would want.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the keys to
Okay.
marketing.
Do you think somebody's going to buy a water bottle that's been up for sale now for about 4 months, 5 monts?
Ray, if it hasn't been widely marketed, I would say
8 months.
Right.
I will say this:
8 months.
If Dave Norrie could sell, if Dave Norrie said, "Hey, here's a Swatch watch that I wore on Haro Tour in 1987. It doesn't work anymore, but I wore it for a couple of shows. Who wants to buy this?" There would be a lot of people who would be very interested in buying that. Yes. So I have no doubts that someone would want to buy it. No question.
We have like 1,000 new viewers because of the Joe Kidd thing. Most of the people who watch Joe Kidd were new to the channel.
Wait a minute.
Wait, factOrFreestyle has 1,000 people?
So
like
Joe
at
Kidd on a
50.
Stingray, number 2, the analytics on it has 1,400 views. So here's the YouTube analytics on that. Okay, you see it did that whole thing. So that meant, and it was like 11, it was like 1,000 Monday morning, it was 1,000 views. And so I made 1,000 middle-aged men laugh with the Joe Kidd on a Stingray 2 sequel. Like, it's an authorized sequel. You have to understand this, Dave. This is an actual internet
I believe.
movie.
I'm convinced. Don't you? Yeah, I got it. You know,
Yeah.
the person was on the call that created it. You got
And
the
so
go ahead.
when I look at the new viewers versus returning viewers, returning viewers was 119. Okay, you ready for this? Unique viewers, 1,300.
And that's on what though? That's on.
Do you know how you catch a unique rabbit?
New viewers. Hold on. Sorry.
Joe.
New viewers.
No, hold on.
1,000 viewers.
No.
I with that little stunt, Dave,
I'll
I
ask
brought
Todd.
1,000 viewers into the show channel. That's why I think I'm so good at this.
Yeah. So how do you catch a?
How do you catch a unique rabbit? Don't tell him, Dave. How do you catch a unique rabbit? Todd knows this one. Unique up on it.
Yep. Unique up
That's
on it.
That's the fakest laugh Joe's ever done.
Well, you got
That's Joe's fake laugh. We just
What are you
watched.
talking about? And that was
how
a
mad he
fake
got.
laugh.
That was very genuine. I thought it was real.
Unique
So he
up
does
on
a really
it.
good job. If it is fake,
Unique up on it. What do
How
you
you
call
catch-
10 rabbits in a line? What do you call 10 rabbits in a line that take one step backward? How do you guys not know this?
I don't know my rabbit jokes. I know my
A,
rabbit
re-
references.
a receding hairline.
That's also good. How about we only do
Or-
rabbit jokes?
We'll only do rabbit. Well, because the thing is, you guys don't get it. What's the line of the beginning of the show?
I know.
Let's
I
see
know.
how
I
down
do.
the
No,
rabbit
I
get
do.
it.
That's
No.
why I want to do rabbit
Yeah.
Oh,
jokes.
the rabbit hole. That's why the rabbit hole jokes will work.
I
Unlike
love that
Rob
each
Lowe.
of
Rob
us.
Lowe
I
just-
love that each of us is like, I can't believe you didn't get my joke. Like each of us has done this today, except for Todd.
Except for Todd. Todd, you
Because
have to do that.
Todd's mature.
And I think Rob Lowe send us a cease and desist? That's why we're no longer doing Rob Lowe quotes. 'Cause
I really
don't know.
like the Rob Lowe quotes, by the way.
I don't know why
like
we
Rob Lowe.
stopped, but I think that the rabbit joke is great.
Only
So-
rabbit jokes. I gotta go right now.
Thank God.
Right now, this is the way you leave the show. Right at this moment. Like,
Yes, and let me
can't-
tell you why. Let me tell you why. This is amazing. Brian
I'd rather-
Ryback's
instead of you telling
50th
us why, I'd rather
birthday.
just-
Brian Ryback's 50th birthday, and his wife,
Who's Brian
me.
Ryback?
Wookie he's one of the Chenga crew. His wife hit me up 2 weeks ago and she goes, "Hey, Brian's having his 50th. Can you come up?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I have the Rona." And I
Zoom
did
call.
because I thought it was the next week.
Oh,
But she actually meant this week. So I already told everyone that I couldn't go. And I was telling Angie the other day, and she's like, "You should totally go." And so I was like, they all think I'm not coming. They all think I'm not coming. I'm showing
that's
up.
something Dave
And
would do. That's something Dave
it's-
would do. I can't make
and
it.
it
but then
starts
show up,
at
so it's
6
all about
and it
him.
starts 6:30 and it's about an hour and a half away.
And Ray,
Yeah.
Ray, did you see? Angie wants to get him out of the house. Did you see that? She's like, you should. Totally
Yeah.
go.
She's like, you should totally go, and then she's gonna
Yeah.
stay at home and eat ice cream and watch Star Wars by herself.
We
Exactly.
watched Spirited last night. That is the greatest movie ever. You have to watch
What's that?
Spirited. It's on Apple
What's that?
TV Plus. It's an adaptation
Oh.
of a Charles Dickens A Christmas Carol with Will Ferrell and Ryan
Ferrell.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
You have to watch it.
I watched Smile
Okay.
this morning. Did you see that movie?
No.
I have seen that.
It's like Smile's pretty creepy. Did you see it? The ending I didn't think was that great, but it was a pretty freaky movie.
Agreed.
Predictable but
Agreed.
freaky.
So that's why I have to actually go. But this has been a spectacular show, guys.
All right.
And I love you.
Okay.
And I'm
Oh,
only doing shows with Todd.
you
shows
guys,
right
you
now,
guys
'cause
stay.
I love Todd.
You guys stay as long as you. How about this? I sign off, and then you guys figure out. You guys rate
let's
my
make fun of
performance
Joe.
today.
Can-
You make fun of me.
Let's make fun of Joe for a few minutes.
Hey, Dave, do you think you have it in it? Do you think you have the energy to make fun of me with these guys for the next couple of minutes?
Make fun of
Of
Joe.
course.
I want if we're doing that, then next time we do it, I want to sign off, and then I want you guys to make fun of me.
This is
I
a wonderful.
love
movement.
that.
You
Okay, so
guys,
this
what
is
about
going to
I
be
love you
What about
guys. This is
Marina?
my creative.
this
Yeah.
is the new
purpose.
format.
All right. Leave
Okay,
meeting,
bye.
not end meeting
Have
for all.
fun.
After somebody
fun
signs
surprising
off,
everybody.
you pick on them.
Ray, you're the boss. Ray, when
my
I'm
God.
leaving, I'm leaving you in charge. You're the host.
I'm in charge.
Ray's in
Oh,
charge.
Yeah, that's
Great.
bad news.
You all have to listen to Ray, and he
So the
can
first
mute
question-
you if you start doing
Yeah.
bad things.
All right, sign off.
All right.
So here you go. All right, hang up. Where do you guys think Joe really has to go? Where do you think he really has to go? He's probably. I think
really,
he's getting that plywood
going
hoods
to change.
tattooed taken off. No, he's not going there.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't
No.
get that taken off ever.
No, I think
No.
maybe him and Angie are taking debutante ball dancing course, like a lesson, and Joe doesn't want us to make fun of him about it. And that's where he's really
I
going.
think-
That's
I think he forgot where he needed to go until right then his phone just like he didn't even remember that he had that appointment to go, and he just saw his phone go, oh, have to leave to the party. He's losing his mind. He's not remembering. Just 2 minutes prior, we were talking about the zine, and he couldn't remember. That's concerning. Are you?
Hey, look,
thinking
man. Look, man. Once you know what it's like once you hit 50, you start to forget stuff. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But when you hit 60, you forget who we are. You'll think you rode for GT back in the day. You won't know. You won't know any of this stuff.
I'll be like, a Gumby? What's a Gumby? Yeah, but we're talking about Joe. So what
You'll
else?
think
Like,
you'll think. No, I like picking on you better though.
okay.
It's
fine.
way more fun to pick
So
on
let's
you than
not
Joe.
even. That's how we're gonna pick on Joe. Is we're not gonna pick on him. We're only gonna pick on
Fine.
me, right? And he'll be like, "Wait,
What's there
how
to
is-"
listen? There's really
Yeah, you're supposed to talk about.
there's really
me.
nothing to pick on Joe about because Joe's so weird. You don't have to pick on him because everybody already knows how weird he is. So there's no picking on him. No one's buying a
I
water
tell
bottle
you,
for $43. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It is funny to me to read sometimes when Joe will have like this wall of text, and it's like perfectly thought out and like edited, and then he sends it, and then like Ray responds, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and Ray.
Yeah,
But I'm not
Like-
saying that as a joke though.
I
know you're not. It's just so funny. It's like you're like, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah, for
And then
me,
But I
it's
think
like,
that when
okay,
he's
let me
talking
explain.
to me,
yeah,
like when we were
when
when we were at the Hall of Fame thing, I spent all my time with Joe. I purposely sit next to him everywhere we go because I want to talk to Joe. And 80% of the time that he's telling me a story or explaining something that's amazing, I have no idea what he's talking about. And I thought the more time I spent with him, the easier it would be to understand it. But now he's just more confusing than ever.
it's getting worse.
And
right?
I think
It's getting
that's
worse.
normal.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
a
it's getting
text
way
from him,
worse.
and I'll start reading the text, and I'm like, I don't have time. Like, I can't invest. It's going to take me half an hour to sit here and look at where he's trying to come from and where he's going. And then, like, that perfect example when I made that comment on the Wilkerson shirt that Kevin Martin was wearing, he didn't even get it. It went right over his head, which I thought was hilarious.
Because he's too involved. He's too involved in his shenanigans. You know?
Yeah. So funny.
Man.
He does love the shenanigans. That is for sure.
Yeah.
He I think it's funny to me because I'll be like especially on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evenings, that's when Angie is home, and she's I know he's spending time with her because Joe's quiet. Like I don't hear from him at all during those times. But I know like Angie's working late or something if I hear from Joe a lot, because it's like he's on his phone and he's thinking of stuff to do, and it's just so funny.
I wonder if she has a spot where like she's like, Joe, put your phone over there. Joe, put your phone on the windowsill. It's my time now. I think it is. Like if he has that.
Yeah, she must. And
because
I
every time we're
understand why
talking
she
to
would
him,
have-
he's got the phone out. You know, anytime I'm with him, no matter where we are, he's always on the phone punching away at some brilliant footprint in a spam joke or whatever he calls it. You know, every 3 minutes. Huffington Post, footprints in the spam. Joe Sisman,
does have a
Factor
number of
Freestyle.
accounts. Yeah, and he even has Only Saves is another account he has.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Pretty soon I'll have one just called The Real Joe Sisman because he has so many you don't know what's what.
If you want to see like the work life of Joe, go to his LinkedIn because he's very accomplished actually, and it's funny to see him respond, like post things and respond where he's serious.
Yeah, but see, I think LinkedIn could be fake. LinkedIn could be fake. You know what mine is, right? My LinkedIn.
No.
When you
I don't.
When you hang up here, just punch in Ray Schleckweg, spell Schleckweg right, and then you'll see who I am on LinkedIn. So anything Joe has on LinkedIn is fake. Just to let you know.
No, it isn't.
It's all fake.
But
no, it's fake.
No.
Well, I think we should read from the LinkedIn account on the next show. We should just take some.
Joe works at a gas station. Yes. Let's just read his LinkedIn profile.
Right? And like all the any
yeah.
kind of stuff that he has.
He's gone viral actually a couple of times with some of his professional memes. I don't know if you guys know that, but like some of his cohorts or colleagues literally from around the world have used some of the memes he's made in like these big business presentations at conferences literally all over the world. I'm not kidding. That's 100%
Wow.
true. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You,
If he could
check
only
out his,
break it, if it could only break out in the BMX world, right? Because he does all this stuff and nothing gets traction. And
Do you guys
Ray,
think
you know that
what?
you know that
Good.
that song that I took because you said, oh, change the song on the edit, and then I put it on my I put it on the
You
clip.
need to use it a little more. I think you're not using it enough. You should put it in everything.
I was putting it in everything I posted, and Joe was getting. And the original, the first one I posted on was an old school clip that I posted before, but I put that music on, and it's like at 690,000 views. And
oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah.
See that? It's the power of the music. It's that song.
Well, and people have commented on the music, and they're like, "This trend, I like this trending music." And I tag you, Ray. I'm like, "Well, thank the man, Ray. He's the one that suggested it." But yeah, I think reading his LinkedIn account would be brilliant.
Yeah, he would be caught off guard on that one for sure. Yeah.
Well, he's watching this, so no, let's not do that. Let's, you know what, we better not. That's his professional.
No, we'll
career.
do it.
Like,
I know. No, it's too late now. We can't fake that we're not going to. He's not that. He's dumb, but not that dumb. He's not as dumb as you, Dave.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Ray.
Oh, Dave knows I'm kidding. When Dave,
he
tell
is
him I'm kidding. Todd thinks I'm serious. Todd, come on.
Joe
You think I'd call
I know
anybody
you're
dumb?
I know you're not serious. I know.
But now
Joe
you're
is a
almost
lot
as dumb
smarter.
as those two. See?
I love it when Joe says some word and then you don't understand it. I don't understand it, and Ray's like, I got to look that word up, Joe. Just tell us in like layman's
Joe
terms.
always uses the 10-cent words. Joe always throws in. He did it today twice. I threw in these words. He's like, somebody, blah, blah, he's inacclickable. And I'm like, a what? He's where? A what? And then I'll have to look it up. Like, I don't have time to hear words that are just say what you really mean. Like, don't use the big word, you know?
The big word.
I don't do well with big words. I'm not a big word kind of guy. I like simple talk. That's why I always ask him, what is he talking about? Jonah's fucking big words, man. No need for it. All right, look, I can't talk about Joe anymore. I got to go.
Yeah, let's call it a good one. All right, thanks everyone for another good episode. Until next time, 43 days. We're going to do the next one.
43 days.
Sounds good.
God, the pompadour is still looking good. I love it.
Okay, it's all for you, Ray. Thank you.
Going. You could actually get it a little taller if you want. Next time you get it clipped up, say leave a little up on top. All right.
Okay.
Don't pat it down.
Leave a little on top.
All right.
All
See
right.
you guys later.
See you guys.
Love, peace, and chicken grease. Peace out.
Peace.